prepared to meet international mediators about a proposed ceasefire. Damage caused by an apparently coordinated attack on France's high-speed rail system Friday should be fixed by Monday, but 3 trains are canceled while others have 2-hour delays until then.
Officials for France's national rail line SNCF said they shut down 3 of its 10 high-speed trains.
President Joe Biden nominated Air Force Major General Jennifer M. Short as a senior military assistant to the Secretary of Defense. The Justice Department is accusing TikTok of harnessing the capability to gather bulk information on users based on views on divisive social issues like gun control, abortion, and religion.
Government lawyers wrote in documents filed late Friday to the Federal Appeals Court.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
We got a cup of coffee in here, please.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Damn good coffee and hot.
We're getting right into it.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You know stand-up comedy. Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
I can't have kids. That's where I draw the line, having kids. Oh. Also, I must say, that's like what was that guy? Martin played on that. I must say, that weird dude. This shirt makes me look like I could have a pocket. Oh look, Matt, counting the payroll and the expenditures and all that kind of stuff. It's me, Matt from accounting. Good morning, folks. It feels like a Monday, right? It's Monday. Monday, July something, 29, 2024. Kind of a rainy overnight, but it looks like it's going to clear up and be a nice day here. I hope you're having a beautiful day there. Humidity seems to have lightened up. It does feel like, you know what? August, right around the corner. It's like a Maggie May moment. Wake up, Maggie. You know, well, that's late September, but August was always the time for me to get ready to go back to school. And that's what it's feeling like. It's feeling like the summer is winding down. I know people say, well, you got 2 months left. That's them. And I would love it to have 10 months left. But it just feels like it's winding down. I think we have a good show for you today. First, we have the fabulous Rob White, who is headlining Sticks and Stones at the Hamptons Comedy Festival in Southampton, New York. Wednesday nights from now until I die, which could be this Wednesday or the following Wednesday. I'm definitely going to die on a Wednesday because a hump like me deserves to die on a Wednesday. And then Brian T. Shirley in the second hour, who is part of a organization. Laughter is the best medicine. I don't know if that's the name of it. What is the name of that dopey ha TED Talk woman's organization there? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's all about laughter is the best medicine. And you've heard me say that 1,000 times, how comedy is not respected for its healing ability. You know what? It's just a guy who's telling jokes. But no, it does have a greater value than that. So it should be a good show today. 2 comedians. and talking about the value of comedy beyond the little yucks that you get here and there. If you're not paying attention, let me just get you caught up. People are freaking out about the opening of the Olympics, and I don't care. People want me to boycott the Olympics. Listen, if you're trying to get me to boycott the Olympics, here's what you need to know. I have not watched the Olympics since Mark Spitz was winning swimming medals left and right. I don't remember the year, but I think it was 76. Might have been 72. That's how long it's been since I've cared about the Olympics, watched the Olympics, given a crap. I gave a crap. That's a whole other thing. But so even if I agreed with your nonsense ideology or your crazy, misinformed outrage, it would be like me boycotting sex with the supermodel. It's not likely to happen in any way. So what's the point? It's not very productive. Anyway, GD is on a boat somewhere in the Bering Sea waiting for Russia and China to drop bombs on him, which it would be nice if he would live stream it on this program. The start of World War III. He's there covering the beginning of World War III. That's what we sent him there for. But he's not earning his check. Not earning his check at all. So we're going to get things started in just one moment with Stephen the sitcom Ortiz and Ron the unsitcom Kane. The unsitcom or something. The stand Kane. The stand com. The whatever. In the meantime, I want to remind you of our sponsors. And I have more sponsors to bring on, but Daily High Club is my favorite. And listen, I'm out of weed. I've been, maybe, this is true. Maybe I'm having some weed withdrawals because I'm having the craziest dreams. I don't have COVID. I don't feel like I have COVID, and I haven't been tested, but I have no symptoms of COVID. COVID brought me wacky dreams. But for like the last 5 nights, I have not gotten high in 5 days, which is not in keeping with our pledge to Daily High Club. I have to tell you that right off the bat. But I'm having crazy dreams all these 5 nights. I mean, crazy. Crazy. Can I say crazy one more time? Crazy dreams. Anyway, Daily High Club was going to bail me out. I just need to get down to the Papoosatuck. That's all. That's all.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Do it now.
Aggressive with that now. And
Now.
You see how I came up in the right spot this morning. That's fortuitous. Good morning, gentlemen. You want to do a GD impersonation, or I could do it? Good morning,
I'm already ready.
Blah, 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 blah. There you go. What you want to do?
Wow, that was a dead-on impression.
I know.
Good morning, America. Are you not only out of weed, but out of cups and shirts too? Well, head over to minddogtv.com and get yourself all of the above, except for weed.
Yeah, I got to get the white weed. I want to go to, but the dispensary with the white weed is so far away. The Papoosatuck doesn't have the white weed. Maybe Ron White has the white weed because he's Ron White, so all of his weed is now white.
You know, you said you're having like crazy dreams, right?
Yeah.
So from what I understand is if you're a regular pot user, as am I, when you stop using and you sleep without partaking, your brain will start formulating like it's supposed to, and you'll start having super vivid, crazy dreams. And as soon as you smoke, they'll stop.
Well, here's the thing that has me a little concerned. Everybody who's dead is showing up in my dreams. Everybody I ever knew who died, or I was close to in any way, is showing up in my dreams, and it doesn't feel
coming back.
it doesn't feel significant in the dream. But when I wake up, I think, "Oh, that's right, he's fucking dead." And then I'm thinking, "Well, are they coming to tell me something? Is my time near?" I talk about it all. Again, I'm not. If that happens and the lights go out, I'm fine with that. But I am definitely afraid of the moment of death. I panic, and this is my the biggest. There's no good way out. There's no good way out. Enjoying the suffering, that's going to be the worst suffering possible. That last moment.
You know, I've been on the precipice of death twice, and the one time my heart stopped, so that was so chaotic and everything that, you know, I don't even really remember all of it. But the other time was like, they were like, yeah, you might not make it through the night, you know, so they just gave me a big dose of pain meds and I just went to sleep. And
yeah, I was almost
it was
dead.
super scary.
Yeah. I was almost, if you look at it, like in the reality of things, I was almost dead a lot of times. A guy fucking sticking his gun in my ear, a hot barrel of a gun in my ear.
You have some weird kinks, man. That's some weird kinks.
Yeah. I think Ron Kane's heart stopped now. Is he alive?
You okay, Ron?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I just
that's some bad news, or you had a palpitation or something.
No, I'm working on something this morning. So
does it have to do with Dallas Comedy Club on when is that? I can't see. My eyes are so bad. 30,
on August 8th. No, it doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with another comedy event.
Isn't that a Thursday, August 8th? Is that a Thursday? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because they won't give you like a Friday right out of the gate. You got to at least have some type of credit, I guess.
I just had an agent who I have not talked to in 3 years contact me with a list of dates. And this is how I know August 8th is a Thursday, because that's one of them. But he's given, all of a sudden, I don't hear from the guy in 3 years. He gives me, I think 30 dates or thereabout. And almost every single one of them I'm already booked for. So, are you guys familiar with the changing of the guard in Pakistan and India?
What? I think I've seen a video a time or two, and I was like, is that the one where they're like stomping real hard and high stepping?
It feels like Monty Python produces the thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a little video and tell me this doesn't feel like a Monty Python video. That's enough of that. But
this is why nobody invites them to the World Wars. So embarrassing.
Aren't they? But aren't they on the verge of war with each other constantly? Like Pakistan and India hate each other, but they had enough, I don't know, courtesy to say, let's get this thing in coordination. You get your chicken hat, I'll get my chicken hat, and we'll stomp and do like the Ministry of Silly Walks. It's
well, you know, laughter is the best medicine, but it also really helps with keeping the shooting from happening. It's really hard to shoot when you're laughing at each other.
I think they got a hold of my white weed.
That's where it all went.
Rob White is here. Rob White is is at least a double threat. He's a great comedian, but he's also a great visual artist. And he's been on the program a couple of times before. He is the headliner every Wednesday night at Six and Stones in the Hamptons, where some great things are happening in comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the program the fabulous Rob White, who did not bring my white weed. With a name like White, you should be bringing my white weed to me.
White weed. I just got heard word of this. What is the white weed? Is that
it's weed that is white because it's coated with extra THC powder or something.
Oh, I thought we were talking about like cocaine. Like
no.
If you look at it, it looks very much like crack cocaine when you look at it.
It's way too early for crack cocaine.
No, but the white weed it's phenomenal. If once you smoke the white weed, it's like you don't have any more purpose in life. You've done everything you were born to do.
Nice.
So.
I gotta get a hold of that.
Good morning, man. Six and Stones, you've been doing them for a while, right? You've been a regular out there for a while.
Yeah. No, it's been a year that the club's been open out there, and she's Abby Russell, who runs it's got me out there doing shows all the time. And now
did Abby see you at Governor's? Is that how she found out about you, or did you go out there? I mean, how did you find?
No, I mean, I've been on a roll since Governor's, since the Laugh Off. We did the Laugh Off last year. They're doing it right now again. I got second place last year, and just been getting up all over the area. She actually, I got a random guest spot out there one night, just to do like 5 minutes, and the feature act was running late. So that 5 minutes turned into like 10 minutes, which turned into like 12 minutes. And after that, it was a good showing. She's been producing shows and putting me on different stuff, and now gave me my own show on every Wednesday out there.
Yeah, excellent. Good for you, man. It's well deserved, and it's a good example for people that you keep working, and good things will happen. The more you work, the more you put yourself out there, the more you're actually doing it rather than just sitting on your couch and thinking about it or hoping for something to happen. You make it happen just by being out there and giving good things a chance to happen to you. So
right, you got to make your own luck in this world.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. So yeah, it's been great.
Now, don't take this in any negative way, but have you changed your style? Because you're like super dapper now, and I don't remember seeing you like okay. This really sharp dressed man before. I'm not that you were ever. This is why I'm saying don't take it negative. You were never a slob, but now you're looking like.
I was. Let's be honest. You can call it spade a spade. I literally had, people that don't know, I had this giant beard. I had long hair. I looked like a drunken sea captain. I looked like lost episodes of The Deadliest Catch, and I think that was a lot of the problem, because I wasn't getting a lot of spots then. And it occurred to me that why would you get spots when you look like you should be taking out the trash? So I owe Governors on that, because I looked around at what everybody was wearing that was there, like James and the people that work for the club, and I'm like, everyone's dressed professional, everyone's dressed nice. I'm like, whatever happened to the comics that dressed like nice, the old school Rat Pack kind of look. And then I said to myself, screw it, I'm doing this. So I mean, I'm not wearing the suit right now because I'm in
no, you can't go through life like that.
I go to every single show dressed in a suit now, and it's good. It makes me feel better about myself, but it is funny sometimes when you got to do a show. Not everything's a great show, so you go do some kind of random pizza parlor or dive bar, and you're dressed like a lawyer. Everyone thinks that they're court appointed lawyers there to talk to them, and so hey, but it's good. I think it's a good look.
Somebody said on Facebook the other day, I wish they would bring back the 90s. One thing I wish they would bring back from the 90s is comedians wearing suits all the time. I don't remember that. I mean, because maybe it was the people that I would like fans of, but a lot of I thought people were like, they'd come out in like sports jerseys and
yeah, that was that look. It was like I guess that was like the late 80s, early 90s, where everyone would have the sports jacket, and they'd have like the turtleneck underneath it,
Yeah.
It was kind of like, I don't think many comics really hung on to that except for like Seinfeld. But I feel, it was a weird time. I kind of enjoyed the suits back then, but at the same time, some of those comics just looked weird wearing a suit.
Yeah.
You got to be whatever your personality is going to be,
Have you found that your material has changed at all since with the new look. I mean, it's not a new
No,
look
that's
over here.
and that's the part that makes it kind of fun because I mean, for everybody that doesn't know, like I'm a tattoo artist by trade. I've been a tattoo artist since I'm 13 years old. So when I go up there and I'm dressed in the
Holy
suit,
shit.
and yeah, it's been a lifelong thing. My family, my dad's a tattoo artist, so I'm second generation, and to be doing that and dressed in a suit, it takes people a little aback, and then you know it kind of misdirects things. It makes it kind of easier. 'Cause
Black Duck
Yeah.
Tattoo Studio,
Yeah,
right?
that's me and my wife. We own that shop. So.
In Selden, New York. Is it Selden?
Yep, Selden. Yep.
The club next door to you, is that still open? The bar or whatever.
That bar will be open forever, but it's never the same name.
Right.
Now, I think it's Riley Fibbers. Last year it was the Neighbors. Before that it was Limericks. It's been open so long that my great grandfather used to drink in it. But they can't keep the same name, you know.
I played in it in the 80s and I played it in around 2000. And then last year I did a gig there one day and that was it. And it seemed like the owner did not know anything about the tattoos. I asked him about you. I was like, that Rob White place, I don't know. Like your neighbors.
Right.
Your neighbors. Maybe
that was the best part. Because the name of the bar was the Neighbors or Neighbors Bar, and we were the only neighbors, and that guy never came around. Like I introduced myself, but it was like, yeah, hey, how you doing? I'm busy. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm your only neighbor, but you know what? This is ironic.
Let me ask, because branding is important, and you're Rob White with one B, but every time I get something from Abby about you, it's got two B's in it. Rob, I like, what the hell? Where's the
get on that? Like, what are you doing? You gotta put some respect on my name. What are you doing? Two B's.
I thought I was wrong, and then I was like, what? I always Rob with one B, and I checked your Facebook page. Yeah, it says Rob with one B. What the hell?
But you know what it is? I mean, I feel like as long as I got Rob White, I'm okay. Because everybody, the big problem I have is that if you go on the internet, you go on Google right now and you type in Rob White comedy, Rob White comedian, Rob White anything, Ron White pops up every single, to the point where like you have to really search to get my name out of it. I've been to comedy shows, quite a few in the last 2 years, where there's a picture of Ron White.
Wow.
And I'm like, and then I asked him, like, oh, well, we just did a quick Google image search. And I'm like, yeah, this is why Ron White is not coming and doing, you know, the Chuckle Hut or whatever.
It was really
I was going to ask you if that happened a lot, because it's when he said it the first time, I was like, wait, did you say Ron White?
Yeah,
He was like, no, Rob White.
Dude, I did a tattoo convention and people were like, holy shit, Ron White's coming? I'm like, Ron White is not going to do the Hell City Tattoo Fest in Columbus, Ohio, okay?
Not anymore.
No.
Have you seen him lately? He looks like Gandalf or something. He
he became a total hippie. He stopped doing like the hard drugs and started doing all like, you know, acid and mushrooms and whatnot.
He moved to Texas is what happened.
Well,
he's always been from Texas.
Well, I meant he moved to Austin, I should say.
Yeah, he's like in his like Sergeant Pepper's era right now, you know, where he's just experimenting with DMT and stuff.
It's so weird.
It's all that bastard Joe Rogan's fault.
Yeah, that guy's great. Get everybody on the wacky hallucinogens.
I know he's good buddies with, not to make this all about Ron White, but I know he's good buddies with Dr. Phil, and it just would seem like very weird to be tripping around Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
I don't think I can handle that.
I don't know, but that might be a
what
good
are you
guy
seeing, okay?
If you're having a bad trip, maybe he'll talk you down. I don't know, like a good psychotherapist.
You're coming down, okay? You're coming down. Your feet are on the ground, okay? No.
So
how does that make you feel?
I love that guy.
Let's talk a little bit about Sticks and Stones, because this Wednesday night thing you got going on there. Do you pick the comics that are on the All-Star lineup that you have, or
No. It's literally, it's been a lot of the guys that have been constantly performing out there. So we don't have a set list all the time. But no, Abby's in charge of all that, because it's definitely been funny. People keep messaging me like, "Can you get me on the show?" And I'm like, I'll tell her you want on, but I don't have control on that. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think the natural inclination is to think, if I get, I just hang out with Rob, I can get on there.
Yeah, it's like, I'm out there. But there's a lot of comics. That's the thing too. A lot of people don't realize in the summertime, during the week, it's a Wednesday. What are you
Right.
doing on Wednesday? There are a lot of stand-up comics and names that are out in the Hamptons that are just hanging out for the week, waiting for their weekend show back in the city. So people come by, people squeeze in. It's not so bad. I know
Yeah.
she's got a lot of decent talent coming through.
Would you know if they're like some of the, I don't know, lifestyles of the rich and famous, the Hamptons celebrity crowd? Have you had any of those people in the audience?
No, not yet. I haven't had anybody out there yet. Well, of the celebrity status. I did do a show the other day in the city, and randomly, Susan Sarandon was there. I don't
Wow.
know. Yeah, she just came in. You knew it was her, and then she was gone, and it was like, what was she doing here? It was the Broadway Comedy Club. So I was.
I
Very,
don't
nice.
I don't know if I could handle little Susan Sarandon and
Yeah.
not think about. I don't know. You're probably
that?
before your time. There's a movie called Atlantic City, her and Burt Lancaster, and she's washing her tits while she's doing dishes, and she starts putting lemons on her tits, lemon juice on her tits, and that's all I can think about when people say Susan Sarandon.
What a weird thing to do.
I know. Yeah. It is a weird thing to do. Lemony tits. I've never had lemony tits. I've never tasted lemony tits.
Lemony tits. That sounds like a breakfast cereal, doesn't it? Lemony tits.
It does. So now the layout. I've talked about this. I have not been to the club. 2 years I've been dealing with Abby. I have not been out to the club yet.
Right.
It's not like a comedy club, right? It's more like a theater.
No, it's it's in the Southampton Cultural Center, and it's a theater style. So it's got like the risers that go up, and the seats are seated up that way. In the front, they do have some smaller round tables for people that are coming in, and it's kind of a cool layout. It almost reminds me of like when you see one of those live studio audience sitcoms. That's how it feels like on stage. It feels like you're a part of, like you're filming an episode of TV for a sitcom, and that's the studio audience.
Yeah, so either that or this is why I brought it up, the layout again, because I think it would be a great place and to tape a special or tape even content for social media that it's kind of a part of the job now. Have you done any of that or pursued any of that?
Yeah, I got some. I've got some good clips and stuff out there. Unfortunately, the times when I've had like the best material was when the camera didn't work or didn't record. That was a little upsetting. We had hecklers. I had these two old ladies that were in their 70s, and they were out there heckling everyone the entire show. And finally, I had to go up and shut them down. But it's not easy to shut down old women because even when you're right, you still feel wrong.
Yeah, no, especially there because you know what, I hate to be a little bit like stereotypical on this stuff, but I feel like if I saw older white women in the audience, I would just assume that they are money people out there, or
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. I mean, you have your normal working class blue collar people out there too, but a lot of the people that want to come into the show, they do have a bit of money. This is their summertime. What are we doing? Oh, let's go out there and see the comedians. But I gotta say, they've all been, other than those two women, they've all been really, really good audiences. They've been really attentive and there for the comedy. There's definitely a market out there, and she's tapping into it. So that's a good thing.
Have you had a chance to network with some of the more famous people that come to that venue?
Right. No, I mean, we definitely all interact together. Unfortunately, it hasn't come to any bigger shows or things of that nature, but I definitely get to hang out with the other comics and
get them just to know your name is like I've interviewed a couple of people up there who have some some cachet in the comedy world in New York City particularly, but some of the people they have it seem like Abby is big on booking people's brothers. She's had Eddie Murphy's brother. She's had Chris Rock's brother. It's like
Jordan Rock. Yeah. It's like
everybody's brother.
We're not getting like it's not Chris Rock and those guys, but yeah, though there are still so many great up and coming comics that have been out there. Carmen Lynch, Sherrod Small, Jordan Rock. Trying to think who else was out there recently.
Vanessa Hollingshead.
Vanessa Hollingshead was out there the other day with Stacey Pressman.
Do you know her story?
Vanessa? Yeah, I from the documentary you talking or?
Well, yeah, I've had her on the show. She told me a story about growing up. Her father was friends with Timothy Leary, the LSD guy,
Yeah,
and
that's a cool story.
yeah, her father had a dish of sugar cubes on the table that were all LSD sugar cubes, and didn't tell anybody. And she was 9 years old, and she went and ate a handful of them, and was like at 9 years old, as close to overdosing on LSD as you can get. But for a 9-year-old, I mean, I think she was on a trip for like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, I mean, you literally get to go from watching cartoons to hanging out with your favorite cartoons like that.
Being featured.
Sounds great to me.
Right?
Yeah.
For weeks. That's insane. But yeah.
Oh yeah, that's too long though. That's way too long.
That'll open up your third eye way too much. I don't even. How do you function after that? If you're like 9 years old and you go on an acid trip, I feel like I wouldn't believe anything anybody told me ever again.
Well, it explains a lot about how she became a comedian.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, she's really good though. She's I mean, I've never seen a woman do Mick Jagger as good. I've seen a couple of guys who do.
Oh, I've never seen her do Mick Jagger. Now I got to. Now when I see her, I gotta.
I guess when drugs are your trauma, you're gonna be a really good comedian.
Well, yeah, and you'll do a Mick Jagger impression.
Yeah.
What year did she start doing it? 10, you know.
Yeah, no, she does. I think she does a full 3-minute song as Jagger.
Holy shit!
Yeah, oh, that's wild. Yeah, I mean, I did a show with her recently over on Fire Island at Davis Park, and but she didn't do Mick Jagger. So I gotta ask next time I see her.
Casino. There's a casino at Davis Park now, right?
That's the trick. So they get you every time. The restaurant is called Casino. So you think in your head when you get there, like there's a casino here. There's there's not even one crappy slot machine in that place, but they do have good cocktails and seafood. So yeah, you get some.
Well, now we are talking about Sticks and Stones, and we want people to go out to Sticks and Stones every Wednesday. It's already started already, but this Wednesday, Rob will be there.
No, following actually, we changed it around. We changed the schedule a little bit, reorganized it. So now we're doing just the August 14th and the 28th. Those Wednesdays out there, yeah.
So not this Wednesday.
No, not this Wednesday. As far as I was told the other day, unless you change things again. So yeah, it's it got a little crazy, but now the 14th and the 28th out there.
The reason I brought up Sticks and Stones again because I want to keep that in people's minds. That's the reason you're here today. But other opportunities on Long Island. This place, Jake's 58, because you were just talking about the illusion of a casino in Davis Park.
Right.
That seems like a perfect place to have comedy, and I've never heard of anybody taking advantage of that or even pursuing that as a possibility.
No, like there's some sort of I don't know off the top of my head what it is, but there is a reason why they haven't had any live performances out there at Jake's 58.
I used to work for a cult that was based out of there.
At the hotel or the
hotel. We took over the hotel for a whole week. Basically, it was a hands-on healing, but hands-on is a misnomer because it was hands-over. It was auric spiritual healing classes, and they over and cure you that way.
What a weird thing to get involved in.
I was the audio-visual director. That's all.
I thought you were like they got you in there.
No, I was.
It starts with audio visual, ends with anal every time.
It was crazy. It was one of the craziest experiences of my life. This was a 4-year school, like set up like a university where they had freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior years. About when I first started there, they had like 2,700 students that came from all over the world to go there for a week, and they did this 6 weeks a year, and then we went on a road traveling to all the cities around the world, putting on workshops and seminars for them. But these were people with I mean, it was an expensive thing. You had to have money to be, and they were very successful doctors, lawyers, nurses, people of high esteemed jobs.
Oh yeah,
Joining this cult, and it was no kidding. It was a cult, mostly women. A lot of lesbian sex going on.
Like a great thing, you know. Like if I got involved in a cult, I'd have to wear like, you know, a pair of overalls and sell lemons on the freeway or some damn thing. It would never be an awesome cult. Like
yeah,
no, right?
Lawyers and women. What
the first day I showed up, I was in a suit and tie, and with the bald head, they thought like this must be like a spiritual leader or something. They were all like, oh, yeah. And then they realized I was just hired help. And but you know, I did magic shows I remember doing a magic show for them, and it upstaged the cult leader so bad. She was so angry with me because everybody thought I was doing tricks, but they thought it was real magic, and they were like, now look, we're ready to replace the cult leader with me. Like,
you think a cult leader would know better than to bring a magician?
Yeah, why would you confuse the two? That's so silly.
Yeah. Well, I did a lot in the day. I was doing a lot of mentalism, and they were big on this whole hypersensitive perception, which is ESP, but they just call it HSP. But I was doing a big, I was a Kreskin type of guy. I was doing a lot of mentalism in the magic and all that kind of stuff. Mind reading, you know, fake mind reading.
Yeah.
And they took that as real. So
they're going to make you like vice president or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and the cult leader didn't know it. The freshman class dean, who I was living with at the time, she put me on the stage. She thought it would be a good idea, and then when the students started going, "Oh, he's got a real gift," that's when the cult leader started getting really upset with me. And
yeah, it was like a power struggle. You guys are going to do some kind of weird laying on of hands fight. You're fighting with energy, you know.
Yes.
It's gonna be like a really weird Star Wars ripoff.
War.
Yeah.
Fun stuff, man.
Now you're still doing governors though, right? Every once in a while.
Yeah. I just actually just performed with them the other day, Saturday, with DC Benny out.
DC Benny.
Yeah, he's great. I love that guy. You know.
I don't know him, but I think at one point Ron was supposed to have a guest on. I asked him if it was DC Benny because he did a lot of work in Philly in that area, and I just thought DC's close enough to Philly that this might be the guy.
Oh, he's one of the greatest, you know, comedy storytellers on the island. Not even on the island, just in general. He's really good at what he does. Funny dude.
A lot of guys get caught up in this East Coast circuit, right? And they don't, because you know, from Boston to DC, I guess, not even all the way down to Florida. A lot of people.
Well, yeah, you have that like East Coast versus West Coast kind of thing. I mean, it's not like that hip hop battle.
Yeah,
but
no, break out the knives.
The East Coast is like, you know, the comedy cellar is like the Mecca over here, and that's like all New York. And then you have the West Coast where it's the Comedy Store, and everybody's all about that. But now you have Austin too, so the third market has opened up finally. Austin, Texas, with the Mothership and the Creek and the Cave, and you know all the different places there.
I've been a Crip since birth, so.
Do you have any desire to go down to Austin and get involved in any of that?
Yeah, I do. I think it would be a lot of fun. I feel like that's a big area right now for comedy. You know, I don't want to move anywhere other than New York. I think this is still the top market for comedy. But going to Austin would be cool just to be down there amongst all those people, Kill Tony and
I'm tainted because of my own personal experience in the 90s. In the early 90s, Austin was the mecca for music, not comedy. Yeah, and I went down there, and after 2 weeks, I was like, this place is just, there's no way to get noticed here. There's just too many musicians, too many people competing for the same spots. And I think, you know what, there's probably that going on. People go to Austin thinking, yeah, everybody's there, but everybody is there. They're already established in the cliques that, you know, the Rogan cliques or the other cliques that are down there, the Kill Tony cliques or whatever. It's hard to really, I don't know, make a name for yourself when there are so many people just doing what you do. It's really hard.
Everyone's fighting for the same scraps, you know.
Right.
I guess you have to get to that certain level. Once you're at a certain level of comedy that you can't do the random, Kansas City or Oklahoma, or wherever the smaller markets are, when you can't do your local cities and towns anymore because you got that big. Yeah, then you move to LA and New York and you start at the bottom again. It's we're kind of lucky here to be in the shadow of New York City, so you could sort of dabble in it and then come back out and do a couple of pizza parlors, and then go back in and try it again. And
the pizza parlor thing is a funny development to me. I don't think that's always been a thing. I think in the last 5 or 10 years is where people started doing these shows in pizza parlors. I don't know. I've never been in a pizza parlor where I noticed there's a comedian.
I mean, most of the time it's more of like an Italian restaurant, but some of these places I've been to, I'm like, this is where we're doing comedy, like here over by the soda machine, But I'll take it. I'll take it every time. I've done so many shows that I've sat back and looked at and gone, I don't even know why I'm here. And then when it's done, I'm like, wow, I actually learned something. I got a new bit. I did a nursing home at like 10 in the morning.
Good for you.
Now that was like 100. It was 100-year-old woman, 103-year-old woman sitting there in the front row. I'm like, this isn't gonna work. They were great.
That's what I see. I've been trying to push this on these guys and everybody else who is not quite broken through to mainstream popularity and all that stuff. There is a lot of benefit in doing these nursing home shows. First of all, you just get to practice your stuff. But second of all, even if the people there are comatose, there's going to be a few of them who recognize you, but their families are there with them. There hasn't been one show I've ever done in a nursing home where a family member hasn't come up and asked for a card and said, we're having parties and stuff. Are you available for that? And I've gotten so much work out of just doing that. And this is corny, but the feeling that you get when you know that you've really made a difference in people who are captive and need entertainment, they can't get out to it, and you've made a difference in their lives. That's it does a lot for you personally. I would do it. It's good for you. I mean, you're the first comedian who I've talked to who's actually said they've done one.
Yeah, you know what? It's a little bit of your time, and it means a lot to the people that are there. Even I could tell some of the jokes were not hitting; they were going over their heads, but they were still like, yeah, they just because they're bored. How much TV can you watch? You go into one of those nursing homes, and the TV is stuck on News 12, repeating itself every 15 minutes. These the same, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They don't get any good entertainment. So I mean, I guess they probably deserve better than my ass up there, but still, you get what you get,
Yeah. Now you're still doing you still doing tattoos every day?
Yeah, full time. Yeah. Me and my wife, we both own the shop out here and working every day, going in, doing tattoos, and it pays the bills.
I had some. Yeah, it's probably a very lucrative thing. Now I had. I don't know if you're aware of this place, Wild Child. I think it's in Belmore or something.
Yeah, I think it was Wild Child. Merrick. It might have been.
They hired me to come in and play acoustic music in the tattoo place. It didn't go over well.
Yeah,
but
they had a little cafe attached to it, right?
Yeah.
They did comedy there too for a while. I remember that.
Yeah. Now, what are you doing? Were you doing a live podcast or live stream from your tattoo place or something?
I do. I have. We do like it's more of like a YouTube show because it gets filmed and then it gets edited, so it's never been live. But I do this show where I actually tattoo stand-up comics that are come in the shop. I tattoo them, and we bullshit and banter through the entire show, tattooing. It's just a different kind of weird something that's not normal. I mean, everyone's got a podcast with comedy nowadays where they interview comics. I'm like, okay, so how am I gonna make it different? I'm like, I could tattoo them. And
I don't ever think of I'm telling you what to do. But if you talk about live, no, because I have very opinionated and I'm always trying to be helpful. But you talk about extra revenue streams. If you could do that on Twitch Live, you get a big audience for that. Twitch is all about people doing stuff. It's not about people just talking. And to watch you actually doing the craft live, I bet you get a huge following and people just dunking in the tip jar constantly on that.
Yeah, I should definitely look into it.
Twitch is nice. It's easy. They make making money on there super easy. Oh yeah.
But you have to do it live though. There's no.
Yeah. It's all about
that's
live.
the hard part,
It's
I'm
live.
always
Yeah.
afraid of what we say because we'll say things on there, and I'm like, that's absolutely getting edited. You're never gonna work again. You know?
If
Not that
I don't
if you
know. I don't
gotta-
think you can say anything that we don't say here. I mean, we are we break every rule in humanity.
he probably has a reputation to protect. We don't.
Well,
we
here's
don't
the
have
thing,
that,
like,
you know. So
nobody will care about what you say on there. Nobody will watch it, right? And then the one time you say something out of line, that's when the phone starts ringing, and you're like, "Yeah, I guess she's not working." Guess you're in trouble. You lost your channel, whatever.
Who was it? I saw some comedian said. Oh, it was Sam Morrill. He was talking about, I had a joke in my last special that went viral. And at first, that's a good thing. And then secondly, I was like, uh-oh. It was it was a transgender joke. And then he said, it was great to see it went viral. People were talking about it. And then he said, then the trans people started jumping on it like, this is our guy. He's like, oh, slow down. I don't want to be the spokesperson for the movie.
Made it too popular.
Yeah,
it's funny that you mentioned that you do tattoos and and comedy and everything. I'm doing a show in like 2 weeks where I'm gonna be on stage getting tattooed while doing my set at the same time.
No way. Where's that?
That's gonna be in Michigan.
I feel like I had somebody talking to me about this like recently. It's and you get tattooed, but you have to do your comedy. While they're doing somebody
can you do it? I mean, it takes time, right? You can't do it. I mean, how long does the average tattoo take?
It depends. I mean, 15 minutes, an hour, really, what you
we're doing 15-20 minute sets. So they're small tattoos. I mean, we're not getting sleeves done by any means, but
right.
But yeah, it's supposed to be a small tattoo on a sensitive area, so there's a wheel to spin for
it's fun.
no face, no hands, nowhere.
That's fun.
It should be fun.
It's on a stage in Michigan. Oh man,
it's at a tattoo parlor. It's at a tattoo shop in Muskegon, Michigan.
Muskegon, you know what?
Yeah.
What's the name?
I got my wife's name tattooed on my balls, and then she accused me of trying to put words in her mouth.
That's kind of a curse on a relationship, is getting someone's name tattooed on you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Covered a lot, which is good for business, though. Good for business, repeat customers.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you shocked me. I thought like tattoos were like, if you're gonna get a tattoo, you had to like prepare like half a day.
It depends on what it is. I mean, I've done a lot. I've done a lot of tattoos. I think I have the record in the Suffolk County for at least the most tattoos done in the day. I did 51. So you can do.
You should have called Guinness Book in advance. You find out what it is. I mean, I'm all about.
Oh, the real record is way higher than that.
Really?
It's the real tattoo. Yeah, it's somewhere in the hundreds. But I know I did one day where we did 51 tattoos, and then I had another day where I did 50. So you can do a lot. You can do a lot. You'll burn yourself out, but you can do it.
Right.
So this show is at Third Dimension Tattoos in Muskegon, Michigan,
right,
13th of September.
Wow.
Oh, where's my pen? That's the problem. Whenever you need a pen, you don't have one. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I collect pens. I love writing, and I carry like 30 pens in my bag at all times.
The only time I use a pen is when I got to go sign a check, and then I'm like freaking out. I'm looking all over the house. What happened to all the pens?
Yeah, we don't use them anymore. No one does.
I still use a physical joke book. I still use like a little joke book and pen. Always got one on me.
Muskegon, you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Muskegon.
Are they streaming that live or no?
I asked. He said he's gonna try to see if he can set something up.
It'd be hard to cover, right? You'd have to have like a guy with a handheld, like or something. Like you can't really.
Yeah, I feel like angles would be difficult, but
no, you could definitely. It's a little bit of a weird thing to be filming and tattooing. Like I've done like radio a couple of times where I'm tattooing on the radio, and that's strange. But they'll have cameras in. Like
I used to have a bit on my radio show called Fishing on the Radio because at the time fishing shows were popular on TV. I was like, how dumb would it be to have like a fishing show on the radio, and all you just hear is like water sound effects and guys sounding like they're in a boat.
So that is actually really smart when you think of it. It's like that anti-comedy kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
Radio. I love it.
Yeah, we had Willie. Willie had a tattoo on the show. He was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and he was having his neck tattooed. But that seemed like an all-day thing. Like it definitely lasted the 2.5 hours of the show. He was laying on the table.
He was getting his neck tattooed. You can't really interview anybody if they're getting their neck tattooed, though.
Yeah, well, he was talking during the whole time. He was.
Yeah.
The whole time he was getting it. It was some kind of prison tattoo or something. It was 5%er because that's how many people don't go back to prison.
Oh,
that.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to think. What was the old line? It used to be something like 13 and a half used to be a thing. So it was 12 jurors, 1 judge, and a half-ass chance of hell of getting off. 13 and a half. I was like, yeah. Guys, criminal old school felons with that tattoo. And I'm like, I don't know what that. All right.
Now, I mentioned that you are a double threat, and people should really check out your artwork because, I've seen your drawings and the stuff you've done. It's really, really good work. But is there do you have other talent, comedy and drawing? You got any other hidden talents that you're not telling the world about?
It's a bunch of random stuff. I feel like when you do like stand-up comics, all stand-up comics have multi-talents. I've never found one that doesn't have something else, But yeah, I mean, tattooing, comedy. Geez, I was in the fire department. I was an EMT.
Just to counter what you just said, I've seen comics who don't have any talent, even in comedy.
That's not really a comic, though.
I've seen plenty of them.
No,
more than my fair share. But you know what? I always say, well, give them a shot. Maybe it'll develop. As long as you have the right attitude and willing to kind of improve. But I've seen people who just especially in today's day and age, is where people come in and think they should be headlining, and they really shouldn't even be getting open mic time.
It's wild. It's wild. There's a buddy of mine out there, Fat Jay, and he calls that the sickness. He's like, bro, did you see that fucking guy? He's got the sickness, bro. Look at him. He thinks he's got this good. He doesn't know how bad he sucks.
Love it. I love that. Now, Jay's supposed to have been on this program a number of times, and then he's always going on the road every time. Like it's time to get him on the program.
You can't wrestle him down. He's a big boy.
I have a problem calling him fat, even though he goes by Fat Jay.
Oh yeah, he does it. He says.
I know, but I still. To me, it feels like I'm insulting. It's weird.
Obese Jay, how about that?
Yeah. It's like if I went by Bald Matt.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I went by Crippled Steve for like 7 years. So
yeah, I know, but it just I don't know. I don't know. It just feels weird to me.
Call him morbidly obese Jay.
Now, like Ugly, if Ugly was somebody's name, like Ugly Bob, the comedian, I would, because Michael Imperioli from Sopranos, he was on a episode of Law and Order, and he was like the suspect, and they kept calling him the ugly guy, the ugly kid, and they kept calling him that. It's like, as an actor, you go for that part. That's got to do something for your psyche, where and everybody's calling you the ugly guy, and like, how did I get the part? If I got the part, does that mean I'm really ugly? And then all the people refer to you as the ugly guy the whole episode. That's got to be a little like,
if you're making that money, you know what? Those checks aren't ugly. That's that money in your pocket is not ugly at all.
I love whatever you want as long as there's 6 numbers on that check. Let's go.
Even Rob is talking. Ron is talking.
Right?
I was just gonna say I love those comics that are named like Uncle Fisty and like What That Mouth Do and the shit like that. It's funny seeing that stuff on a poster or flyer.
What makes me giggle is the comics that have the word "the comic" in their name, like Like this
Oh,
is
yeah,
Stephanie
yeah.
the comic.
GD
Or
hates that. That's
Aish,
it's like one of his pet peeves is comedians that have the comedian or the comic in their name.
Yeah, it's like I guess it's a good reminder, but I don't know. I just feel like you are who you are. I'm not a fan, as a rule of thumb, of nicknames. I kind of just don't enjoy them,
Yeah.
unless they've been bestowed on you. Then
Right.
then I think it's different. You know what I mean? Like, you ever met somebody that has a really cool nickname, and you're like, nobody calls you the Dragon. You know what I mean? Nobody's that cool. Like, how did you get that? Well, no, that's what I call myself. I'm like, nah, because
See, I got lucky with mine. Mine's the sitcom, but
Right,
that
that's
was
not-
a joke that was made to me by people at the open mics. Oh, you don't do stand up, you do sit down comedy. And then finally, I just kind of like pushed into it, you know.
In case
But,
you don't
yeah,
know,
I feel you.
Rob, it's not immediately apparent Steven's in a wheelchair. He's
okay.
that new brand of
Now,
wheelchair
right.
comedy, which is fad now. Everybody's doing it. Even people who can walk are doing shows in a wheelchair.
Bastards
Oh, that's so
encroaching
funny.
on my
That's-
territory.
And to be perfectly honest, he is faking it.
He's
He's been
Yep,
faking
totally.
it as long as we've known him.
going
Like,
in, smack
yeah.
him with a baseball bat. Get out of the chair. You can
Yeah,
do it.
exactly.
Nah, but
Yeah.
you got to if you give yourself the nickname, it's always too cool.
Yeah.
You know, if you get one of the, because people that have like real nicknames always have nicknames that you're like, what is your nickname? Oh, they call me Farts. Like, Farts? No one would ask to be Farts. No one would,
You know, there's a guy on this latest Jackass movie, and his name is Poopies.
Oh,
Same thing.
Exactly.
Same thing.
Exactly.
Just like really, your
gotta-
name is in the credits. In the credits, his name is Poopies in the credits, and I'm just like,
That's a
Yeah,
good-
nobody really believed it when I was calling myself Matt Long Dick Napo.
Almighty long dick.
it's because
Son
you're
of a-
because you're Papoosatuck, and Papoosatucks are historically small.
Yeah, you know about the Papoosatuck, Rob?
No, it's an Indian tribe, right? That's-
Yeah, in Mastic, they used to be just a cigarette outpost, but
Yeah.
now they're a legal weed outpost and a bunch of other things.
Yeah. The Poospatuck Indian Reservation. Yeah.
But they're not real. I mean, if you look it up, there was never any Papoosatuck tribe, and it's like Shinnecock. Shinnecock is a made-up thing too. We had Iroquois Indians here on Long Island. Yeah. And all the
have it though. It's like they found a way around the white man's laws, and you're like, you know what? Good for you. If I could convince the government that I was my own tribe of people too, like, yeah, no.
exactly. That's what I'm in for. I want to. You know what? I want to create, because none of them are really Indian. They're all black people.
Right. Canceled right now.
So you know why? You know what? Why can't I come up with a fake tribe?
I'm gonna go up and do the same thing, and then they'll be like, well, "What? You're just really drunk right now." I'm like, "No, I'm not. This is part of my tribal ritual. We're part of it's an indigenous culture now. Past the Jameson, it's
the drunk cowies. We're the drunk cowies. I drunk cowie.
You gotta. Everybody's exploiting everything at the best way possible. So I say, screw it. You know what? If you can find your way to get it and not have the government, going after you, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, I appreciate you getting up and being part of the show. You're always a good guest to have on. We love having you on. Good luck. And now, when is the next date? Is the 13th? Is that when it is? Or
next one is August 14th out in Southampton at Sticks and Stones Comedy Club. You can go to sticksandstonescomedyclub.com and
the link is in the description for all the event stuff that's going on there.
Yeah,
Oop, that's the wrong one.
absolutely.
This one. sticksandstonescomedyclub.com, and you could put in /events if you want, but you can get there just to the homepage. Now, anything I know where your purpose here is to talk about that, but you got anything else coming up in the meantime?
No, that is actually the very next date. It's been kind of slow. Summertime's a little slow for comics, and I still
Really
get up
slow.
every night, but I don't nothing planned. I'm definitely going to hit up open mics and random shows that I can get on. But the next big one, that would be the 14th.
Well, I would say that you should become friends with Ron Kane, the guy, silent man up above me here.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: he won't remember you because you're a guy. If you were a chick, he would remember you.
Or
But-
if he was a black dude, he'd remember him too.
Oh yeah, he's got no white friends. He's only got black friends.
Yep. Rob, also, if you want to hit me up on Facebook, man, we can
absolutely, guys.
talk about that tattoo show, and then see if we can connect elsewhere.
I'm gonna put this on here because networking is everything in this business, right? Get out there,
100%,
meet
man.
cool people.
It's been slow for me too, and I feel the dryness myself. It's it's drier than Ben Shapiro's wife out here, and gotta do what we can. So
you guys are great, man. I appreciate this. Thank you.
All right, have a great day, and we'll keep following you. Hopefully, the 14th, I'll get out there. Wednesday nights, I should be able to come out.
It's a good time. What are you gonna do? Go out to the Hamptons. You're fighting. You're going against the traffic's all going the other direction. So
before I let you go, are you hosting that as well as being the headliner for that?
No, I'm headlining it as long as nobody bigger and famous. Some big famous comic comes out, I'll take the back seat.
So is there a host? Somebody who comes out and does the host?
Yeah, Joe Winchell. Joe Winchell, my good friend and buddy in comedy. He's hosting the show. And
I don't know him, but his name comes up everywhere on these sticks.
He's a funny guy. He's definitely worth looking up. Joe Winchell. Yep.
All right, cool. Have a great day, man. Thanks for being here.
All right, guys. Enjoy. Thank you.
Bye. Rob White, folks. We got to get to news, and then we're going to meet Brian T. Shirley, who is
let's go. Keep it rolling. Let's go.
Laughter is the best medicine type of message.
I agree.
You agree?
100%,
Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor? A doctor?
I've had enough surgeries and medical stays that I could probably get an associate's degree in it. Let's be fair.
We need a new kind of degree. We'll call it Doctor of Laughology, or something like that. Anyway, let's get to the news. Yeah.
A Texas woman who self-managed her abortion is suing prosecutors and a local sheriff after she was held in jail for 2 nights on a murder charge that was ultimately dismissed.
Lizelle Gonzalez, a Starr County, Texas resident, filed a civil rights complaint alleging that hospital staff provided her private information to prosecutors and the county sheriff, who later charged her with murder, according to court documents. Under Texas's multiple abortion bans, it is not a crime for a woman to obtain or seek abortion care for herself. Jessica Oakley reporting.
President Joe Biden nominated Air Force Major General Jennifer M. Short as a senior military assistant to the Secretary of Defense.
The DoD said in a statement, Secretary of Defense Lloyd J. Austin announced today that the president has made the following nomination. Air Force Major General Jennifer M. Short for appointment to the grade of Lieutenant General with assignment as senior military assistant to the Secretary of Defense, Pentagon, Washington, D.C. Liam White reported.
Damage caused by an apparently coordinated attack on France's high-speed rail system Friday should be fixed by Monday, but 3 trains are canceled while others have 2-hour delays until then.
Officials for France's national rail line SNCF said they shut down 3 of its 10 high-speed trains Saturday that normally would travel rail routes struck by alleged saboteurs on Friday. Passengers traveling to and from Paris, where the 2024 Summer Olympics opened on Friday, should expect 2-hour delays. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
Israeli airstrikes hit a school used by displaced Palestinians in central Gaza on Saturday, killing at least 30 people, including several children, as the country's negotiators prepared to meet international mediators about a proposed ceasefire.
7 children and 7 women were among the dead taken from the girls' school in Deir al-Bala to Al-Aqsa Hospital. Israel's military said it targeted a Hamas command center used to direct attacks against Israeli troops and store large quantities of weapons. Hamas called the military's claim false. Benjamin Wright reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Apple has reached a tentative collective bargaining contract with the first unionized company store in the country.
The International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers Coalition of Organized Retail Employees, which represents the employees at a retail location in Maryland, announced that it struck a 3-year deal with the company that will increase pay by an average of 10% and offer other benefits to workers. The agreement must be approved by roughly 85 employees at the store. Kyle Norris reporting.
13 people were rescued after getting lost on an an Arizona hiking trail during high heat, including 3 children and an adult who were transported to the hospital, authorities said.
The group, who were in town for a family reunion, started hiking the Gateway Loop Trail in Scottsdale, according to the Scottsdale Fire Department. Fire crews were dispatched shortly after 10 a.m. for a mountain rescue, the department said. They were found in a wash under a tree several miles into the trail, according to authorities. Jim Kender reporting.
The Justice Department is accusing TikTok of harnessing the capability to gather bulk information on users based on views on divisive social issues like gun control, abortion, and religion.
Government lawyers wrote in documents filed late Friday to the Federal Appeals Court in Washington that TikTok and its Beijing-based parent company ByteDance used an internal web suite system called Lark to enable TikTok employees to speak directly with ByteDance engineers.
The Park Fire, one of many wildfires raging in Northern California, grew from a small brush fire in Chico to the largest blaze in the state in less than 2 days. A man suspected of starting the fire has been arrested.
The Park Fire started last Wednesday afternoon in a park and grew from about 6,400 acres late Wednesday night to 45,550 acres Thursday morning. As of Friday evening, it had grown fivefold to a staggering 239,100 acres, some 373 square miles. Containment had been at 3%, but it fell to 0%. Lawrence Keller reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
One of the people in the Stanhope world, a couple of years ago, I think it was 2 years ago now, it might have been just last year, there were wildfires. Remember up in Canada there were fires and the East Coast was getting hit with all this like black air or brown air from it. And she was out in the West Coast and she was saying that the East Coast needs to experience it because they're used to getting wildfires out west. And she was saying we need to experience that. And basically, I was like, what a terrible thing. You know, it's like me saying, well, you need to have a terrorist attack like we had in 9/11, or you need to have a Hurricane Sandy event. Like, why would you wish that on other people just because you've gone through that? And so I started some shit back with her, and then it became persona non grata with that friggin' clique for a while. But you know what? Wildfires, every year it's a thing now. Just want to touch base on this Texas woman who was charged with murder for self-managing her own abortion. I'm not sure what self-managing means in that context. Like she didn't go to a doctor, no doctor prescribed it or something. Or I don't know how you have to do that, but I don't know. That's wow.
Well, listen, that's what it sounds like she did, though. It sounds like she probably just did it herself, and everyone's pissed off about it.
That's what I would like that explaining. If that's what it means, then that it's a little weird.
Rob, that was gold, dude.
But here's the thing now. On Saturday, a baby, a brand new baby, I mean, still wet, was found in a dumpster in Texas, in Houston, Texas. And, like, wasn't that a prediction that if you ban abortion, that's going to start happening? And I think we can look forward to a lot more dumpster babies. Fortunately, this one was found in time where it got care and was taken care of. But it was like a 100-degree day like they have in Texas this time of year. And a baby just happened to be lucky that somebody was passing by and heard the crying or whatever in time to get it to a hospital. I predict there will be a lot more of this as a result of abortion bans and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, yeah, that's the biggest, like I personally, I don't throw my opinion out there, you know, just because, you know, it doesn't really affect me a whole lot. But, you know, if you don't make it a legal, viable way to get it done, it's just going to happen anyway. So, like, now you're just risking lives.
Once again, you're not even looking at the positives of this, because now when you go dumpster diving, you'll be able to get reclaimed babies. You know what you can sell a white baby for today on the market? It's unbelievable. Once again, you're trying to take jobs from the working man. I get it.
Well, who had the white baby market corner? Who was actually, I don't know, I hate to call it a black market. Because it's white babies. I don't know. Let's not go.
This is spiraling.
spiraling pretty quickly out of control. Before we bring Brian in, before he runs away from here in this conversation, I want to play this video here. Hopefully.
We've all been to them. Boring conferences, dull mandatory training, death by PowerPoint. It doesn't have to be boring. Hi, I'm Robin Johnson, and after retiring from the Army, my new mission is to improve people, organization,
Robin Johnson.
communities through humor. I know. What does that even mean? I do this by providing keynote speeches and workshops infused with comedy. We need to laugh. We need to understand how humor can make us better leaders and, honestly, better human beings. I started out as a stand-up comedian, and I wanted to make a bigger social impact. So after collaborating with mental health professionals, I built Hilarious, an evidence-based program that combines cognitive behavioral therapy with the applied and therapeutic use of humor. My audiences increase their mental health literacy and lead with practical ways to improve wellness and organizational culture through the use of humor. If you were choking, you would know exactly what to do.
I
The
would.
international sign for choking. Someone would give you the highlight.
I choked to death.
What would you do if your brain was choking on negative thoughts? How do you disrupt negative thought patterns that are essentially choking your ability to thrive? I believe that laughter is the Heimlich maneuver for the brain, a way that we can create some space in our minds to allow for positivity, hope, and to see the world through a different lens. You can add levity and fun to your event. Bring me and my hilarious program, and I promise you, the audience will have tons of laughter, a great time, and bonus, they get to leave with valuable tools that they can use to improve both their own personal wellness and your organizational culture. So let's get laughing.
All right, that's enough of that. Now it's time to bring in Brian T. Shirley, who is, I think, part of that organization. That's the link I've got with him, and I know this is what he espouses as well. Laughter is the best medicine. Brian, welcome to the program.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Okay, now that Robin Johnson person, are you affiliated with her?
Yes, I'm part of the Best Medicine Brigade. I haven't done all the various aspects of that, but I've headlined some of her rooms here in Charleston, and we've been good friends for several years now. I actually talked to her last week or the week before, I don't remember. She's expounding on that whole entity that she's created, but we're a group of veterans that do stand up or spouses. So you have to be either one to be part of the Best Medicine Brigade. But like I said, she's kind of branching out and doing talking, like speeches and stuff like that. But she still does the Hilarious, and she's got a new thing with funerals she's doing, trying to make funerals fun. But I do my own thing mainly. I still work for them. I'll do a gig for them in a second. But these days, I'm more of a entertainer. I'm not just a comedian. So I do different things.
Like what?
Song
and dance, man. Song and dance. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. If I sing, it's funnier than my stand-up, actually. I do acting and stand-up are the two money makers. Those are the ones that are bringing in the money, but also voiceover. That's kind of like the third. And then it kind of goes down from there. Like, I'll do just UGC videos at home or stuff like that for extra cash. Because you guys entertainers, you know how it is, man. You got to have your foot in several fires to keep money coming if you're going to do it full time. And that's,
I don't know, Steven, you got your feet in several fires?
I have them in a fire, I suppose.
My apologies, Stephen.
It's okay. I don't need them.
No, yeah, he wasn't using them anyway.
Speaking of hilarious, oh my god!
Now, where are you? You're in North Carolina. Is that where you are?
No, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay. Yeah. Not a difference, is there? It should be just Carolina.
Wow, I think that's
why you guys, in the spirit of unity, make Carolina one Carolina?
Well, I think you gotta make sure that you erase the state line first of all. That's going to be the first thing you got to do. No, I don't know. Really, I'm from Georgia. I'm a transplant, so I've been here about 30 years. And
Oh, he's a trans Carolinian.
yeah, I'm trans. And
No, I was thinking. I don't know if you caught earlier
I
in the
wasn't
program.
at the Olympics though, so.
We had earlier on. We had the changing of the guard at the Pakistan-India border video.
I saw that. Yes,
I was just thinking you could do something like that on North Carolina, South Carolina, but without the chicken hats.
You know, that would be more banjos and fiddles.
It'd be like a fiddle battle with moonshine and overalls.
Yeah, and a little
Yeah.
shagging in there too, although not the English version, if you know what I mean.
So my geography is really terrible. Charleston is not. Is that on the coast or not?
Yeah, it's right on the. If you go any further, you're drowning, Matt. You would drown if you.
Well, the Myrtle Beach area, I know is pretty active for the comedy scene. I wasn't really aware of Charleston being a big comedy hub.
It isn't. It isn't. It used to be back in the day, but funny thing about Myrtle Beach, this is a tie-in with a commercial that you showed at the top of your show. I actually was in Myrtle Beach with Tommy Chong years ago at the Comedy Cabana.
Wow.
In the green room. And once you go in the green room, the smoke starts about right here. And you don't really remember much after that. You just kind of.
Are you a smoker?
I used to be back in those days. Yeah. I started having a panic attacks though. I was working with the disgruntled clown. And I think that started everything with me not being able to. When you smoke with a 6'4", 300-pound clown, you should not smoke marijuana. You should either work with him and be normal or smoke.
No, I get it. That would definitely get a little funny after a while, or funny not in a good.
Not a lie. You can look the disgruntled clown up on your phone right now, and it'll pop up with the black eye makeup and black lipstick and the Perot looking stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's
I've been saying for a long time that comedians undervalue themselves because and it sounds corny and cliche and all that stuff, but laughter being the best medicine, I think really there is no better way to deal with stress, anxiety, and just, get in a better frame of mind than to enjoy some comedy. And we used to, back in the day when I was in the therapeutic, one of the many, many careers I've had, they used to say, put on silly comedy, even old, like black and white, comedy films, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, all that stuff, and try to maintain your melancholy mood. It's really almost impossible. So that kind of message that laughter is the best medicine, I think it's something that comedians don't take into account, and we see a lot of comedians, and I understand a lot of them don't deserve to get paid when they're just starting off and just learning the craft. You have to learn the craft in front of an audience, but you're not necessarily a comedian yet. You're just sticking your toe in the water. But at some point, you have to say there's value to what I bring to the world, and I need to get paid for it, right?
Well, I would ask the sitcom. I would ask him because for him, I think bringing joy to people is just one of the best things he can do.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
Is that right, sir?
Oh yeah. No, yeah. It's one of my absolute favorite things for sure.
Right. Yeah, and I think all of us are. We're like the island of misfit toys. That's what comedians are when you really think about it, because we're all flawed. Even if normal humans are flawed, but I don't think I'm a normal human. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To do this, you can't be normal. I mean, back in grade school when they'd have oral reports, I loved getting up in front of the audience, but I was shy as one-on-one. But when it came to doing that, I would always put a little silliness in it for some reason. I knew it instinctively. So we're all flawed very, very much as comedians, and I think that helps us. I know it sounds silly, but that's part of the hilarious part of it, is that we are healing. We are self-healing when we're up there helping other people, because there's nothing better when you hear those laughs coming back. And after the show, when people come up to you and go, I really needed that. And that y'all have all heard that.
Yeah.
That's money's great, but that helps too.
And I think we forget that we're not here for a long time, and all these things that we blow out of proportion, like the big problems in the world, they're going to pass, and we're going to pass, and you know, in the big scheme of everything, if you're not laughing, you're kind of missing out on the life experience. I think that is the best part of life.
Well, Matt, you've touched on it. You've touched on it too. It's a privilege to be able to get up and perform for people.
Yeah.
And to make their day or make their evening. You know, it's not something everybody can or will get a chance to do. And if you have the chance to be decent at it, even make a few bucks, great. But you know, that intrinsic side is definitely the high, I think, that we all ride after the show, knowing that we gave somebody something worth coming to see.
All right.
Oh yeah, it makes that drive home or that drive, you know, because sometimes I drive 3-4 hours after a show. It depends, you know.
Oh yeah,
if they're cheap asses.
That high is real nice when you're driving home.
Yeah, but you don't worry about falling asleep. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That is
not even a little bit.
No.
Friday night, I had it took me because I'm a musician and playing with the band. We play 4 hours straight, no breaks, and been doing that for 30 years. Just that 4 hours straight thing. And Friday night, I realized that we're all getting so old that the recovery time is getting it's insane. Like. And it's almost like a football player after a game. You need the hot tub, you need the jets, you need the trainer to come in and give you a massage, all that stuff. That's something I don't know if you experience that as a comedian because you're not doing. Nobody does 4-hour sets, but it's just like, do you guys get fatigue after a show? Do you feel like pain? I feel physical.
I do an hour straight. Which is not 4 hours, but I'll do an hour or maybe more. It depends on the audience and what's going on. And yeah, I remember one time, probably about 2 or 3 months ago, I came off, and my friend that's worked with me for 20 years, Lance, he's like, "Oh, you all right, man?" Because I had a heart attack in 2018, and you know that slowed me down, but I'm back. You know, I'm fine.
Right.
But he was a little bit worried, and I think it was really just because. I don't just stand there, you know, in one spot when I'm doing stand up. I tend to, you know, move around and stuff and get energized. I hate being just like, you know, punch, delivery, you know, set up, punch, you know, I got to move. And yeah, so I've had those, although lately the acting, I did 3 days of background on Righteous Gemstones the week before last. And that's 14-hour days at least, you know, for 3 days. So that's funny. When you were saying recovery time, I was thinking, man, yeah.
People discounted driving too. Well, that's what made me think of it. You're talking about driving 4 hours. It's not uncommon for me. And now that's 4 hours in one direction, right? So 4 hours twice. People discount the toll that takes. You know, it doesn't seem like you're doing anything really physical, but you are. When you go to get out of the car, standing up again is like, whoa, what happened to my body? It became rigor mortis.
Well, we don't get paid to get on stage. We get paid to drive. That's
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, as you get older. But you know what? The adrenaline. That's what because I used to suffer from panic attacks. I still do, but really bad back in the day. And right up to the time I got on stage, you know, I'm just going nuts in my head. And then about 5 minutes afterwards, everything's fine. Until I came off stage.
You know? I had severe sciatica where I could not. I basically was chair ridden while I was home. Getting into the car to go to the gig was actual work. I mean, it was like an hour for me to get from here out into the car and start to drive, and then get to the gig and somehow get my equipment on stage and all that stuff, and then I'd have to lay on the stage until showtime. Once showtime started, I would be able to stand for 4 hours, no problem, pain-free. The minute the show ended, I knew I had like 20 minutes before the adrenaline started to wear off. Get the stuff back in the car as quickly as I could before I was paralyzed again. And I thought, coming back to the best medicine, this medicine really needs to study that phenomenon of how adrenaline, how you can emotionally conjure that adrenaline to get yourself through that and feel painless. I was basically fine for those 4 hours that I was performing.
I had a similar thing.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I had a similar thing in April where I was in the hospital for like 4 days, and they wanted to keep me another 2 or 3, and I had to basically muscle the doctor into letting me go. Still had an IV in my arm. Drove 3.5 hours to a show, but as soon as I got there and on stage, it was like I was good the whole time. And then as soon as I was done off stage, I was like, okay, maybe I should have stayed. But while you're on stage, like nothing matters. Nothing hurts. Nothing.
When you got to the club with the IV in your arm, did they just figure typical heroin addict?
Here's a junkie, right?
No, I wore long sleeves to keep it tucked up in there.
Oh, good. Well, that's like a magician. Then you can just
Yeah.
But there's an old
the heroin just right in the IV. Yeah, just like anyone else.
And now you're a prop comic, right?
Right.
It's like
exactly.
It's not just illnesses, though. It's age, because I heard a story. I think it was about Milton Berle, I believe. And the comic told me he was at a club and Milton Berle was there. And people were like, come on, man, go up. And Milton's like, he's in his 80s at this point.
Yeah.
And they said he got up. He was like, all right, And he got up there. And after about a minute, he went on to do 30, 45, maybe an hour. But after about a minute or so, they said it was like he went back in time or something. You know what I mean? It was like he was a young man again for that.
But he could always prop himself up with his dick. He was he was known to have like a 4-inch cock. 4-foot cock, not 4-inch.
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 I was thinking of me.
You're
I was thinking of
delusional,
me. I was thinking of me.
You're talking to white people now. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me! If you don't mind, the corpse still has the floor.
I don't feel like this is really a court. Maybe court jester. Well, thank you for that. That's getting louder and louder, or is it just me? The sound effect.
It feels like every time it's done, it's louder. It does.
Like, how do they get louder?
I'm glad I don't have headphones on. I'd end up like Matt.
Brian, we are not shy about getting into politics here. I don't mean to drag you into. Well, I do, but not in the sense. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or any of that kind of stuff. But lately, we're hearing the criticism of Kamala Harris is that she laughs, and I find that refreshing. I can't think of. I mean, I know Reagan every once in a while. I've seen Barack Obama laugh, but other than that, I can't. In my lifetime, very few presidents have, or even presidential candidates, have had the ability to put out a gusto-filled laugh, and I find that refreshing. That's a human quality. Do you think that's a negative to have to be able to laugh in politics?
No, and I'll quote Kamala. Matt, did you just fall out of a coconut tree? Okay, there's a quote for you.
I did.
Okay. I don't think it's so much. I mean, there are people that her laugh grates on her. I mean, on them, to me, it doesn't matter. I don't think it's so much for me that her laugh is grating. I don't. It doesn't bother me. It's just sometimes what she laughs at is ridiculous. That's, I mean, like that line, did you just fall off? And then she just laughed hilariously. I went, it's like when you see a comedian laugh at themselves. It's like, why are you laughing at yourself? It's not funny yet. But no, I think it is a little refreshing to see somebody lighten things up and have the looseness to just, kind of let loose like that. Yeah.
My buddy Jackie Martling made a living out of laughing at his own jokes, and I think you're right. That in most
that's
cases,
part of his delivery too, though.
Yeah. in most cases, comedians laughing at their own jokes is a put off. But for him, I don't know. It frees the audience up. It's funny how it can work for some people, but not for others. It maybe it depends on how you.
But that's his shtick almost. That's almost like his moniker, or that's how he is. That's his whole act, just about. Because I think part of what Jackie does is, well, we all know he's doing street jokes or old jokes or whatever you want to call it. And that just kind of makes the delivery of those jokes better, the way he does that. I mean, I think that's the whole reason. Imagine this, Matt, if Jackie just stood there and delivered those jokes without that. I mean, it just wouldn't, it wouldn't pull it off the same.
Right. Yeah.
So it's all within its own context.
One of the weirdest things about him is he has this encyclopedic memory of jokes and old jokes and joke book stuff, but he doesn't remember from one day to the next if it was conversations that we've had. Did I tell you this? I was like, Mr. Memory remembers everything and has like an index of jokes in his brain. Can't remember the conversations we've had from day to day. It's bizarre. Or when he's on the show, did we talk about this last time? Yeah, we talked about that every time you're on the show.
And he was in Penthouse too, right? Was it Penthouse?
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge,
Yeah.
Young people don't know what I'm talking about, but he was like, when you do the fold out, he's on the back. He's got all the jokes. And,
I'm just young enough to remember, just old enough to remember my dad having some in the bathroom.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Underneath the newspapers and the biker magazines, there was a couple Penthouse and Hustlers. Yep.
Yeah.
Good times.
Those were the old days, right?
Yeah.
That's
what I like to call analog porn.
Analog. There you go. I like that.
Did you were a stand-up before you became an actor, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been doing stand-up 30 years almost, I guess.
How did you consciously parlay that into an acting career? I mean, was it a strategic thing? Did it happen by accident?
It happened by accident. I've been doing it for about 20 years, close to 20, and I thought I got to do something, to kind of, you can't just do stand-up, you got to kind of, like, I think it was Steve said that people have, comics have different abilities and stuff. Weren't you talking how the comics have different talents? So I kind of always wanted to be an actor, but I do characters and stuff sometimes on stage too. So I think I've kind of been acting in a way, but using my own script. We all do, really, as comedians. We're acting out our own scripts, and I wanted to expand my career, really. So that's when I started doing background, because I want to get on a set and see what it's like. And then I started writing and producing my shorts, like sketch comedy. And then I did I've got some serious ones out there. Like, here's some marketing for you. That's me. I did a short called The Mark, and did it for this app. And so started getting into producing stuff too. And it's really a lifelong dream that you don't realize it till you start doing it. Because I used to watch Carol Burnett, and Tim Conway was always my favorite, and I wanted to be Tim Conway. And there you go. There's a comedian and an actor right there for you.
Right. The eye patch. Is it hard to function with it? Because I would think.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Yesterday, for some reason, and I don't know what motivated me to do this video yesterday. I did a video on the shocking truth about lobotomies in the 1950s.
Saw that. I was like, what the? I was like, Matt's bored at home. He must be bored. Something's up.
Do you know how lobotomies were done?
Yeah.
Through the nose? Was that
through the eye? They took an ice pick. They stuck an ice pick through your eye to cut out piece of your brain. That's why they call it full frontal lobotomy.
Dude,
I did not know that. But
if you want to see a good representation of how a lobotomy was done, American Horror Story, I can't remember what season it was, but they were in a mental hospital, and they did one like in like a theater setting, like a surgical theater, and just They did it. I think they did the one through the nose, and it was just gross and horrific. And oh god, this is the worst thing possible. It's the worst.
Yeah.
The
It
sound,
was
the crunch. Oh.
the eye patch made me think of it, but it was epidemic during the 50s. It was like anytime they would use it for depression, or you say, oh, he's acting a little weird, or having trouble sleeping. Let's do a lobotomy.
I got a migraine. Oh, lobotomy will cure that. Real, you know.
Yep.
Man, people.
Apparently, gays got it all the time too. If you were gay back then, you got a lobotomy immediately.
Either that or electroshock treatment. I think is the other thing, because Lou Reed.
You know what? I'm gonna have to do one on. I'll research that today. I'll do a video on the. I don't know if that was a epidemic, the electroshock therapy thing. I think probably be as popular as lobotomies.
They were neck and neck for a while. No,
neck and neck.
Just joking.
But
it has to be.
You go in the hospital. What do you want? A lobotomy, electroshock therapy? Come on, let's flip a coin, see what happens.
Yes. Now we're back to the acting thing. Are you do you do casting calls and all that kind of stuff? I somehow, because I did one acting job in the last year, probably about 7 months ago, and now I'm on somebody's list, and I'm getting casting call things all the time for auditions and that kind of stuff. Do you get that stuff, and do you go on? Do you do the auditions or?
Well, most of the auditions, thanks to COVID, are now going to be video auditions, because I'm not in New York, so you don't. If you're not in New York or LA, it's kind of leveled the field now, because I do video auditions constantly, at least 2 or 3 times a week, if not more. And I'm on Actors Access and Backstage, and that's where I get most of mine. I got an agency out of Florida too that sends me some. And if folks want to check out something I've been in, we just had The Third Party come out on Tubi TV and Fossum, and it's coming to Amazon Prime. I don't know when, but it's a political drama, and I play a chief of staff to a guy running for president, a senator running for president. And I've got some really good scenes in it. So if you want to check that out and see the dramatic side of Mr. Shirley and not just the silly comedy side.
Unfortunately, I can't watch television or movies anymore. I'm at the age. I don't know if it's an age thing, to be honest with you. I maybe it's just me. My wife tries to get me to watch stuff all the time. I can't last 2 minutes. Watching the big screen, I will fall asleep. It's like, and if I unless I want to use it to make myself fall asleep, then it doesn't work. But if I'm trying to get involved in it, I can never enjoy television or movies again. I've settled into that idea that my days of television watching or movie enjoyment are over. I can't ever do it again. I don't know.
But you probably like doing more than watching. That's what it is.
That's definitely what it is. And yeah. So now you don't look quite as old as me. Can I ask how old you are?
57. I'm getting up.
So you're not quite as old. You're the next decade. You are a what's that? Gen X?
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
Gen X. So now because they used to say when I was a young man and in magic, they used to say there's no such thing as a magician. A magician is an actor playing the role of a magician. Is a stand-up comedian a actor playing the role of a stand-up comedian?
Could be. I think sometimes we are. Yeah, I remember at some point when I came up in a workshop. I didn't come up through open mics that much, and when you get into a workshop and you're there several years, you're close with these other comedians and you're picking each other's act apart constantly. And somebody told me at some point, they said, Brian, you're acting like a comedian. And I realized what they were talking about, and I got out of it because I don't know, you kind of do this cadence and stuff where, it's like a cookie cutter thing. And if you notice, comedy goes through those phases where, like y'all were talking about, people wearing suits and stuff in the 90s and kind of almost looking the same, and that's what happens is the same thing with actors too. I think is they come into these things where this is the look for these kind of actors for this 10 years. If you look, it's like you can't tell the difference between this guy and that guy, and they're all playing the same roles. So I think sometimes that happens where you're, more acting, the actor acting like a comedian. And if you go through that and push through it and get back to yourself, you're stronger as a comedian, I think. And that's what's happened to me several times. I think you keep going through these things where if you want to learn and if you want to improve your act, you'll go through that. It'll go to the thing where you're going, oh shit, I'm sucking again. And then all of a sudden, boom, you come out better than you were before. Hopefully.
Right. Now with this Best Medicine Brigade, are you active in doing corporate type shows?
I do them on my own. I'll do them through Best Medicine. You can go on there if you want to hire me off Best Medicine Brigade. That's fine. But I do a lot of corporate stuff off of what is it? Oh, Gig Salad and the Bash. I get a lot of work off these sites. Is how I do it.
That's interesting. I haven't been on there in 10 years, but whatever.
And word of course.
Yeah. Well, I'm at the point right now where, and maybe I shouldn't say this, knock on wood. The gigs just come to me. I don't ever really lift a finger to go like looking for work anymore.
Nice. Nice.
But the corporate stuff, that's different than comedy club stuff, right? The energy is very different. The rooms are generally well lit, which I hate for comedy.
Yeah, I know.
Is that an enjoyable gig for you? Or is that really just a bill payer? Do you enjoy doing that work?
Oh, I mean, it's like anything else, Matt. It depends on the gig. I mean, I've had them, where it's like, good God, I can't wait to get off stage, get that check, and get my ass in the car and go home. I mean, I've had those. Oh, geez, I just had and you think, oh, I've been doing this 30 years. I won't ever have a bad gig again. You better think that again, because that happens, man. I just did one Christmas, which was horrible. And I mean, I think it was last Christmas. I forgot. But anyway, it was recently. And the lady actually apologized to me. You're doing a company corporate show. And these people were rude as hell, man. And y'all have all had those shows where they don't even give you the first 5 minutes. There's a certain table that you're 5 minutes in and their backs are to you and they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
They could do a shit less, right? And that was one of those where, and then there's a table right next to them that's dying laughing, man.
Right.
So you tell me, how does that, make sense? And we've all been through those. So corporate gigs, like you say, the whole room is lit. We all hate that because we know what that does psych to people. If they're in the dark, they're looser.
And they're inhibited when the light is on them. Everybody could see me. I did a corporate gig on a Sunday morning at 11 o'clock and was very cognizant of the people didn't even want to be there. They were forced to come into work on a Sunday morning, their day off, to listen to me and the keynote speaker that was there. And it's just like, they don't want to be here. And in the back of your mind, that is making it more tense and more stressful than it needs to be anyway. You can't just have fun with it.
You're the asshole.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Right.
You're up in the stand. I had the funnest gig. Oh, well, all right. I'll just tell it real quick. I did a fake speaker. I don't know if you've ever done that, but that is a blast. And they gave me certain points and they gave me a little bit of info on each employee. It was a small group. That was fun. Because then you just get to screw with people for 45 minutes and just lie to them.
It does sound fun.
It was hilarious. But go ahead.
Yeah. Steven, you had something?
Oh, no. Nothing important, obviously.
Nothing
I was just going to say, lit rooms in particular, man, I struggle with those hardcore because I find people struggle to laugh at wheelchair jokes and people in wheelchairs in general when the room's lit because they feel bad. So when the room's dark, they can laugh and not feel bad. I almost have to start it with like, y'all can laugh, you can stare, it's okay. We're here for fun. It's relax.
Right. Well,
lit rooms are horrible for that, man.
You got to break the ice even more, right? Now I've done rooms where I'm the only white guy, I've done.
Oh, same.
Ron does that all the time. He actually, wherever he goes, he's in a room.
Wherever he goes.
He's the only white guy.
I did a family reunion. Family reunion. I'm the only white guy, and I had those. You got to break the ice. So I go up, and I'm not going to tell you what I noticed before the show because it's in the joke. You'll see. So I get up there and I look at him and I go, you know what? I got to tell y'all something. I was a little bit nervous when I came in the room and saw everybody. And of course, they got their attention and everybody's just froze. And I said, but having looked at y'all and seen that I'm not the only bald guy here, I feel a lot better. And I mean, they broke up. And when I saw the bald black guy, I went, oh, I know what I can do. And I use that if I get in that situation. And I even looked at him and said, what'd y'all think I was going to say? And it made them laugh again. So by the time I got to my stuff, they were already on my side. But you got to learn how to do those things.
I think black guys wear the baldness better. I can say that as a in-between white guy, brown guy, whatever I am, green guy. I think black guys wear the baldness better. I want to share something that happened this morning on Twitter. Louis J. Gomez, a host of Skankfest and a stand-up comedian, he was arguing with somebody on Twitter about Vegas, bringing your kid to Vegas, and he said something that I thought was hilariously funny, but he didn't even. This is a comedian I don't think he was saying something hilariously funny as a joke. I don't think he meant it to be funny. He said, with the exception of drinking, gambling, and strip clubs, everything else in Vegas is made for families.
Yeah.
I was like, well, let me punch that up for you a little bit. Add legalized prostitution and mob murders, and then you have yourself a really potent line there. But casino.
How's that any different from Disney World?
Are there legal casinos in South Carolina? I don't know, because we've had more places open.
I don't think so. I've worked a lot of casinos, but never here. I've done.
We got some casinos here in Indiana.
Yeah. You're in Indiana. Okay.
Lounges in casinos are one thing, but playing, because I've seen people do where there's actually gambling in Vegas, gambling right in front of them, and that's what I'm curious about. Like that.
Oh God, really?
Like your background comedy, and you can be background music. But I don't think you can. There's such a thing as really background comedy and all that kind of stuff.
So you tell me that they do stand up out on the floor? They're not in their own room.
They're there's slot machines and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's out on the floor in like the hotels in Vegas where there's slot machines everywhere. There's a stage and there's people playing games. Yeah.
I mean, I got to be getting paid a lot of money.
They're not playing poker or anything. It's mostly just, this.
Right. They're doing noisy stuff.
Yeah.
Great.
And to be honest with you, it's not this anymore. It's this.
Yeah.
I'm old school.
We're on Bandit, right.
Yeah.
I used to do it in a poker room at the Imperial Palace in Biloxi until, the hurricane came and took care of that. But there was one time I was there and there were 3 people in the audience, and 2 of them was my dad and stepmom, and the other was some random guy. And that was one of the days with the disgruntled clown. See, that's where the panic attack started. To be honest with you.
Well, Brian T. Shirley, this is your life. We actually have that guy now. Welcome in.
Yeah, I'd be amazed if John was here.
Nobody remembers This Is Your Life. I'm the only one old enough to remember This Is Your Life.
No, I remember it. I remember it.
Yeah.
I was a phone cell when that came out.
Yeah. Robert Klein, when he was on the show, he was talking about, now this is, we're old guys, but he was asked to be, because he was a protege of Rodney Dangerfield. And when they did Rodney Dangerfield, This Is Your Life, basically, Klein was trying to paraphrase something that Rodney told him when they first met, but it was really a vulgar line, and he had to kind of change it for TV and do like an impression of Rodney, because the cocksucker was in the line somewhere, and I think he said, because I'm a real tough corky guy or something, I'm a cocksucker or something like that. But I'm not sure how that got by the censors at the time, because that was That was like an old lady show.
Yeah.
Ralph Emery.
No, I
This
do a
was
lot
cool.
of assisted living facilities and VFWs and stuff like that as well. And yeah, it's funny when you're going through your material and before you know it, you're like, oh, I better edit that crap, you know, and in your brain, you're going, so you slow
Coincidence
down.
is a coincidence because I've been talking about to comedians about because I've been doing assisted living places and nursing homes forever. Well, not forever, since I was 17 years old. That's forever. But I talk to comedians about doing it all the time, and they always like may work for magicians, not for musicians, not necessarily for comedians.
I disagree.
Yeah, it's the second today, and never before. I mean, never had comedians on who were really receptive to the idea. Now today, I've had two guys on who've actually done it. It's a coincidence. I don't know.
Well, it's how you work it, and you know, one of the big things. These are people that obviously are in the twilight of their lives, and if you can come in there and make them feel good and make them feel important again, that's all you got to do. You know, I just fit the jokes in between talking to them, really, and they love that, you know, and then let them talk. You know, it's the opposite of doing a club. In a club, if somebody talks, you know, hey, this guy needs a glass of water, and the next thing you know, his ass is drug out of the room. So opposite, you know, when they start talking about, because I do a lot of military, you know, I'm a veteran, so I do a lot of military stuff in my show, especially when I do those. And there's a lot of veterans in those places. And when you bring that up, it conjures all these memories and they want to say something. Let them talk. Plus, I'm going, oh, there's 5 minutes off my time right there. But, you know, that's not the main reason. But the reason is it draws them into your show even more. You know?
Right. My friend, I think he's still my friend, although I haven't heard from him. He used to be a regular on the show, Robert Taylor. He's a vet, and he does a lot of show for veterans. But his demeanor, his persona changes. It's almost drill sergeant like in his delivery when he does veteran show. And I asked him about that. He said, "Well, it's all vets, so and you gotta they expect that kind of macho or just over the rough delivery." And it's like, really? I've never experienced.
I think that depends too. My thing is that if I'm Air Force, right? And if I did Japan, I did a tour of Japan in front of Marines.
Yeah, he's a Marine Corps guy, and he does Marine Corps shows a lot.
Right. So I go up as an Air Force in front of Marines. And you think I'm not going to hear some shit? Well, if I don't come back on them, then I'm a pussy, and forget it. My show's done. So I learned a long time ago to look at them when they were making fun of me and say, "Look, I wanted to be in the Marines originally, but I scored too high on the test." And that slam, they stand up and they're going, ooh, 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 you know, because I showed them, bring it on, man, let's go, and they respect you. And that's one thing you got to get out of an audience. I don't care if it's kindergartners or 100-year-old veterans. If they don't respect you, forget it. Your show.
I do a lot of VA shows, and one show recently, I'm playing for Marines or Air Force or Navy or Army or even Coast Guard. Rarely or sometimes, not rarely, but sometimes it's mixed crowd. I made the mistake of asking, what branch of the military would I got, and it was a mixed one, and it kind of started a fight in the crowd because Army guys sitting next to Marine Corps, they didn't know until I brought it up. Like, that's a dumb question. Don't go there because you're going to start arguments in the crowd, and then it's tough to get your show back under control.
Yeah, but I think it's all about respect, and even sitcom, whenever he's in the light and he talks about hey man, it's okay to stare and all that stuff. Not only is he breaking the ice, but he's got to make that audience respect him as a human being up there, as a comedian doing his craft, who just happens to be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, if only he could get the crew on the program to respect him, that would be a good thing.
Well, that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
You know what? That's fine though. This is where I get my chops busted. So when I go on stage and people run their mouth, I can just murder them verbally, and I'm good.
There you go. That's
So-
the school of nepotism.
Nepotism.
Correct.
Okay.
You've
been
I have,
napping.
yeah, I have bestmedicinebrigade.com scrolling across, and the link is in the description. Is there a better link to send people just for you and what you do, or should we just send them there to Best
They
Medicine?
go to Best Medicine if they want to check me out, and that has some links on it. If they want to check me out on IMDb, that'd be cool too. Just go to IMDb and put Brian T. Shirley in the search, and that's the Internet Movie Database. And I've got about 50 credits. You know, some of them include mine, and some of them include voiceover and films and TV. Hopefully, I was on American Detective. Hopefully, that comes out at some point, and as a detective on there, and then For My Man, and I don't know when, you know, that's TV One. These are crime reenactment shows, and those are the big ones. And then
People love true crime, man. They really do.
Oh my god,
Especially women. Especially women.
Oh, dude, my wife loves her some murder stuff, man. If I ever come up missing, prime suspect, my wife.
So you're saying that because I really love that genre. What, does that make me effeminate, Ron? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it makes you a giant pussy, Matt. A giant floppy pussy. That's all. That's exactly what you are now.
It sends a lot of mixed messages because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to love my wife or murder her. I don't know what it's telling.
Is she watching?
You know, Matt.
Is she watching?
You know, Matt. Between the supple hands, the true crime, man. You're a wig and a boob job away from I don't know what.
You made me feel bad. You're shaming me about my liking true crime stories.
Well,
his hands were soft and supple.
You can open the Olympics here, man.
It can't feel as bad as sleeping with a maxi pad on, but I guess you'll tell us how that feels later. It's okay.
Well, Brian, thank you very much for being part of the show. It's been fun having you here. So yeah, and you know what? Good luck with the acting stuff. Now, are you putting more emphasis on the acting stuff than the comedy at this point?
Yeah. I mean, the comedy stuff just rolls in, like you say. You know, that's just continuing to roll in, and so now I'm really pushing the acting, and I'm starting to push live events too. I was Ernst Blofeld in the live event, and you know, Dr. Evil. So I'm doing some character work too, like that.
I didn't even make that you think you look like Dr. Evil until you just said that, and what's the thing? Anyway, thank you for being here. We appreciate it, and you have a great day. And thanks for being part of the show. All right.
Thank you so much.
Bye for now. Brian T. Shirley, folks. The link is in the description for Best Medicine Brigade, and we'll find the link for his IMDb page and put that in the link as well. You guys have any interest in acting? Have you pursued any? Have you in any way?
I mean, I've shot a few skits. I have some friends that want to shoot some skits when I go up to Michigan in next month, but I don't know. I feel like there's not a big,
skits is comedy. Well, you know what? SNL, the original SNL cast, John Belushi was a hell of an actor, a really good actor, and parlayed that skit comedy into act. Bill Murray too, I think. So, and you know what? I shouldn't just say that's just an offshoot of comedy. Look at Ron likes black people so much he's become one. He's become a spinning black guy.
I've thought about it. Like I said, I've done some skits, and I'd love to give it a shot. The problem is I don't feel like people write a lot of roles that are meant for people who roll.
Well, maybe you should work on that. Maybe write your own stuff. How about that?
Possibility. Well, like I said, I'm shooting some skits next month though, so we'll see what happens.
I was just about to ask Ron if he had show business news lined up for us today, and then apparently either he had Wi-Fi issues or his computer, something broke on his end. Anyway,
looks like it. My goodness.
Yeah, Evil said we finally fired GD. We didn't fire him. I don't think he can connect from where he is. Yesterday he's
hanging out with the Eskimos.
Right. Tomorrow we have two comedians as well. 2 for Tuesday. We have two comedians on tomorrow: Marco Antoine and Jamie Tucker. all week long it's you stealing my spot, Steven? Is that what's going on here? I'll never steal my spot. Ron, what happened? Did you have a Wi-Fi moment?
Yeah, it's StreamYard seems to be like somewhat reliable on that. It seems like at least once during a show, it just stops working.
All right.
Yeah, if I don't log into the show at least 30 minutes early, it takes me about 5 minutes for StreamYard to accept my broadwidth to allow me to get on the show. Because otherwise, it's just black screens and it's choppy.
Wow. Yeah. I just want to clear up something. Last week, I said that the Dallas Comedy Club, where you're going to be performing, that wasn't the one. It was the Fort Worth Comedy Club that had those issues with no green room. So disregard everything I said about that. So it probably will be a much better experience than the one I set you up for.
Okay, well, that's at least good to know now.
Yeah. I fuck up sometimes. That is the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen. I fuck up sometimes.
Hey, but you're man enough to say, "Hey, I fucked it up."
Yes.
So,
yeah, it's good
that's
to
good enough for me. You're at least man enough to say, "Hey, I fucked up. Here's the right information."
Well, I wanted to make sure I got it out there before you went there and said, "What the fuck are you talking about? I had the best green room I ever had." Oh, I'm a dick. How about that? I'm a dick.
They'll just say, "You got to say no to nepotism." That's what they'll say.
Yep.
Now, in the shower last night, I don't know why it came to me in the shower, but I had a memory of two friends of mine. I don't want to mention their names. One was a younger kid who kind of looked up to me as like some kind of role model when he was young. And one was like a kid I grew up with whose father was very famous in movies and stuff. And they both went to jail for hanging a guy. This is a kind of hanging a guy by his feet out of a 5th-story window, and the guy fell out of his sneakers and fell, and he didn't die, but
they did look up to you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But the guy didn't die, but I think they went to Ossining prison for 6 years each. It might have been 4 years each, but I don't know why that came to me. But so it's like this hanging guys out of a window and then falling out of the moral of the story is, if you're going to hang a guy out of a window, make sure he ties his shoelaces good and tight before you do that. That's what I'm saying.
Well, there's that infamous story.
Hey, tie your shoes real quick.
There's that infamous story about Suge Knight hanging Vanilla Ice from a hotel window.
Yeah. That was much. I should have copyright that. So I should get royalties on that. They're hanging a guy out a window. That's my thing. Don't be stealing my thing.
100% your thing.
Yeah. Is there any show business, Ron?
I have like three items.
All right, let's do showbiz news, because what the fuck? It's this show business, right? We're in show business. Are we in show business? Why can't I get to the brand, and showbiz news? Where are you, showbiz? I'm gonna cry if I don't find it.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showbiz.
It's showbiz. Ooh, Robert Downey Jr. is who we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we only got 3 stories today. It's a fairly slow news Monday, but I mean there's only a couple stories anyway. So one of the big ones that broke this weekend, Marvel announced that Robert Downey Jr. will be the next Doctor Doom, and there's mixed reaction with this, considering he was Iron Man, and then they killed him off. I mean, this is okay. I'm disappointed as well. I mean, yeah, he's a good actor, but find someone else. I mean, honestly, are we just going to me, this just smells this just smells like a corporate decision.
I would agree with you, but okay, in their defense, Doctor Doom is probably one of the deeper characters that Marvel has to offer. And I think Robert Downey Jr. has shown he has decent range. I mean, look at him in Oppenheimer comparison to how he was as Tony Stark. So he can't play this like Tony Stark. He's gonna have to play this completely different. And this is a multi-layered, like 4-dimensional character. So I feel like this is a pretty good choice in my opinion.
He's a weird dude, right? Do you agree he's a weird dude?
I don't think he's a weird dude. I think he's just a normal dude, honestly. I feel like he'd be cool to have a beer with, honestly.
Well, I don't think he does anything anymore, right? He's got part of
not.
it. Yeah. But I've seen him do interviews where it got really tense, like he got really aggressive at the interviewer for asking questions. And they were questions I would think that you're obligated to answer. If you're going out and doing these celebrity promo stuff, you have to be prepared to kind of deal with dick questions, So, but I seen him turn it around and become like a Tom Cruise guy in an interview where you don't want to ask that question. Yeah, one more question like that, and we're ending this thing. That's where the weird dude thing. If you have a past like his and the kind of career he's had, and now he's kind of like this Zen Buddhist preacher or whatever the fuck.
I mean, it's kind of par for the course, though. I mean, he's an actor. And I think that's one of the biggest differences between a comedian and an actor. Actors are always a little weird. They're a little eccentric in certain ways, and he falls right into that category pretty solid. So
and
I'm sure he's a little weird, but I feel like he's still overall a pretty normal dude.
Yeah, I'm sure he's intense, kind of like Steven said. I mean, I guess you almost have to be to a certain extent, especially to be at that level that you're at, to be intense. And like when he was really drugging back in the day, that probably just even made it worse, because you could tell like early on, like he was a pretty intense guy. Then put some cocaine on top of that. That's a recipe for disaster.
He goes from Tony Stark to Tim Allen real quick.
Yeah,
I remember here. I think it was in court where he was trying to get a lenient sentence. He was talking about sticking the barrel of the gun in his mouth and discovering he likes the taste of a rifle in his mouth. Like that. That's a bizarre thing to say to a judge.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I know he had a strain. His father was a director and was a drug user and had him using drugs as a kid. But and he's had a very up and down career because of the troubles. But all that stuff would make you a strange person. But anybody in the arts is strange. But I just felt like there was a level of aggression towards people because he's always like this nice Zen Buddhist kind of guy when he's with a celebrity interviewing. Like I remember Oprah interviewing him, and he was like, all fluff and flowers. And then when some guy's just an entertainment reporter, all of a sudden there's a different side where he's like looking down at the reporter, and it's like, that didn't strike me as a good guy. But you know what? I'm not.
Yeah, to me, like, I understand what you're saying, Steven, but at the same time, I think this is what we're talking about, like, just with corporate media, especially like with Disney owning 60% of the box office. It's like, take some fucking chances, hire somebody out. Because this almost, to me, it just seems like it's a Ryan Seacrest thing, because they have him doing the Wheel of Fortune now. And it's like, really, you can't find someone else. You got to give that Mr. Bland another job. Of who gives a shit?
They should have gave that to David Lee Roth, the Wheel of Fortune thing.
What I would have loved to see was William Dafoe, because
Willem,
in the other,
not William, Willem.
Oh, sorry, Willem Dafoe. Yeah, I would love to. I think he would have been great. I think he's way underutilized, and he was great as the Green Goblin, but in this Marvel universe, he's not the Green Goblin because the whole Spider-Man thing. We know that, right? So they could have easily played him off as Doctor Doom. in
Yeah.
this universe, and it would have made sense, and he would have been so good.
They should have just hired
Such a
Robert.
badass.
They should have just hired Robert De Niro and de-age him. You talking to me?
My brother, who is a mid-level Trumper, he was going off on De Niro yesterday morning on our weekly calls. So it's like, why? I don't know. They're not going to watch De Niro movies because he doesn't like Trump. I don't get that. Anyway, shit on.
Yep.
Oh, shit ton.
A shit ton of cash this weekend was, speaking of Marvel again, and, they're really on hard times right now. Deadpool in the US made like $200 million, and worldwide it made like $400+ million.
Okay, well, hold on there. Now, is that 200 million on top of the 123 you reported last week?
No, that was for a different movie. That was for Twister. That was for Twisters.
I can't tell.
Yeah. But, speaking of that Twisters movie, that is still doing well, even up against Deadpool. It's got some decent legs, and it's still making money. But, yeah, this weekend it was all about Deadpool. Me and my wife went to see it on Saturday night. I won't spoil anything, but if you're a fan of this movie and the franchise and all the other stuff, it's pretty damn good. It's a fun movie. There are some phenomenal action sequences in it, especially between Deadpool and Wolverine and the other shit that's going on. So if you want just a good popcorn movie, that's what it is. It's entertaining, it's fun, and it's an R-rated movie that made $200 million just here at home.
Wow.
I can't wait to see it. I'm going to try to see it hopefully this week. I want to see it.
I can't wait to fall asleep in the first 2 minutes of it.
Matt, where's your sunglasses? How dare you, sir?
You're right. I forgot.
Son of a
boo, boo. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Daddy
So
Rogan.
in the world of stand-up comedy, this is the biggest news happening currently and for this week, that Joe Rogan stand-up special is airing live on Netflix this week. I know Matt will be watching with bated breath, and
yeah, I can't take any more Rogan. I'm so sick of this guy in every single way. Not just his comedy sucking, but the people who just worship him. Like, I don't know. This is all Mitzi's fault. Mitzi, sure, this is all her fault. Without her, we would have never heard of this guy. He would have news radio would have ended, and that would have been the end of him.
Yeah.
So, and now we're stuck with him. We're stuck with him, and there's nothing we can do about it. And that's the end of the world.
Yeah, even on the local comedy scene, I really haven't heard anyone talking about wanting to watch this or it being a big thing. I don't know. Have you heard anything, Steven?
This is honestly the first I've even heard of it. And generally speaking, the specials usually show up on my timelines, either on Twitter or Facebook. And I have not heard any buzz about this at all. In fact, Rogan was just on this last episode of Kill Tony that my friends were on. And there was no mention of it.
Has Willie been on there yet? Kill Tony?
Nope. The last time he went to Texas, he had problems with the heat and went home sick.
I thought he was moving down there. I thought the plan was he was going there until he got on. He was going to stick it out for as long as it takes to get on.
You know what? My friends moved down there, got on Kill Tony back to back. Her and her boyfriend back to back polls randomly, and you know what they got from that show? Fucking nothing.
Yeah,
they got a whole lot of nothing. Not only did they get nothing. Yeah, and not only did they get nothing, she got invited to the secret show and then bombed and got fucking nothing for any of it. They've gotten no gigs off of that whatsoever. People need to quit putting so much of their eggs in this one basket. My God.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because people get excited because they see what, Hans has done. Yeah. And I think You know, I think Hans in the future is going to be looked at like the Kelly Clarkson of that show, because he may go the furthest, because he, at least he seems to be taking advantage of his options. Then, you know, you have that other guy, that Casey Rocket guy, and like, I know he's out.
Cam, whatever, isn't it? Cam
Patterson. He just came to Fort Wayne.
Yeah,
I
so
think William Montgomery is the Kelly Clarkson. I don't know. What do I know?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I just
Kill Okay.
here's the thing. I'm a Kill Tony fan, but I'm just so it kills me to see, because like I want to go to Austin bad, but it's not for Kill Tony. I want to hit the clubs in general. You know, I just want to hit that strip in general, especially because I've heard it's fairly accessible. But just putting all your eggs in Kill Tony it's ridiculous. It's just
Yeah.
it's craziness, and I'm
Now-
seeing people go broke and beg for money to go visit. It's like, oh.
Right. Bringing it back to Rogan for a second. I remember when I first found out Rogan was still a thing, with this podcast, probably about 10, 12 years ago or something. I forced myself to find his specials on Amazon Prime or Netflix, wherever they were. And I sat through 2 of them and didn't laugh once. And I remember thinking, because I thought at the time, because of the podcast stuff and the way he talks about himself, that he must be a really good comic. He must be like one of these top level comics. And I find out he's doing arenas and theaters and then the specials. And I watched the specials, and not just because at that point he wasn't like totally objectionable to me with all the nonsense that he does now of platforming idiots and idiocracy. He was just a guy with a talk show, and so I expected funny. I wasn't prejudiced against him to going in, and couldn't find any funny, and that kind of said, like, why are people, celebrating this guy? I can't find anything funny about what he did. Is like not even remotely funny, and I know it could be subjective, but I mean, even like Bill Engvall or one of these fucking blue collar guys that I don't get at all, I could watch their specials and still chuckle 1 or 2 times, even though I don't find them funny. With the Rogan stuff, I couldn't find anything remotely chuckle worthy, like even like a little laugh in anything he did. So
He's a shouter, and I find that annoying on stage.
Right.
Like it,
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Yeah, so I can't see anybody getting excited about this fucking special he's got coming.
Yeah, and I almost feel like Kill Tony is at this press, like in America. Kill Tony to me kind of feels like it's at its American Idol precipice. Like everything has collided. They've pushed out, a couple of comics, but I mean, in all honesty, how sustainable is that? And are you going to keep pushing out essentially almost like the same style and same type of comic out there in the world? And I just wonder how long people actually put up with it.
I've seen a couple of reels from
Kill
Tony recently that I thought were pretty good, pretty different comics in that. But I don't know if you'll ever hear from him again. But they're putting out more reels.
So let's say they have 250 people sign up every week. They do this show every week for 11 years. That's 143,000 people that have gone through that show. And how many people have made something out of it? Like 3, 4?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
and if you talk to some black comics as well, there's almost a consensus too of like just the issue that I have too with Rogan is like when they bring up black comics and have the black comics, even Cam Patterson, it just seems like a little like dance for me type stuff. It's a weird tone to it. That's all.
You know what's weird about watching the reels is the show's called Kill Tony, and I never see Tony really laugh. And ever like a real laugh, and then he'll say, "Well, that's the way it's done." Like when he's giving somebody a compliment, I'm like, "Yeah, you found it funny, but I didn't see you laugh at once." Like you would think that's part of it. Kill Tony, make Tony laugh, and I never see Tony laugh. Have you guys ever seen him like have a robust laugh moment?
Yeah. There are times for sure. Yeah.
At the comics or at the panel members making fun of the comics? Because I've seen them laugh at
both.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I'm wrong. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like any show. There are good and bad aspects to it. Is it the end all be all? That I don't certainly, agree with it. But
Ian's saying Tony does one of these. The fake laugh, the open mouth fake laugh when no sound comes out.
So that's showbiz, everybody. Light day, but Deadpool sucked up most of the energy.
So you didn't have time to do like a ridiculous AI image to end that with. I'm a little upset. That's like the icing on the cake we look forward to. It's the ridiculous image you end showbiz with.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, today, sorry, folks, no picture.
Have any either of you guys been in touch with GD? I think he texted somebody yesterday saying he landed, right? Or that was 2 days ago, whatever. You don't know how his vacation is going.
Yeah, no, last I heard was he landed okay. That was it.
I'm just curious because his goal is to perform in all 50 states, and that was the reason going to Alaska, but didn't have a plan for performing. I think he did have a plan for performing in Seattle, right?
Yeah, well, he was just going to go up to some places and ask if he could perform.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. That's all I can say. But I just wondering if he did, especially in Alaska, get a chance. Because people talk about Chilahoots, Charlie, whatever that's like. It's the only place in Alaska's a pretty big state. It's like fucking huge. I think there's more than just one comedy club there.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Well, that's it. We'll crash this thing into a wall. Then I'm getting text messages from all these fucking friends of mine, like every day. Listen, I just want to say, if you're listening and you're out there listening, and this is for a couple of comedians who just don't read, they follow me on Instagram. Right on the top of my Instagram page, it says, "No, please, no DMs whatsoever." And people still DM me, comedians, especially comedians who've been on the show. Please don't DM me on Instagram. If you need to get in touch with me, you can on an emergency basis or something, like you need a link or something, Facebook. But what happens on my Instagram is Meta sees that as a business response, and then I get an emergency like drop on my text, or everywhere. And I have to go to Meta to read this thing in the middle. It's a fucking major inconvenience to me. And then I got to deal with all these fucking spammer women who fucking, and now they know I've opened up my messages. Please don't DM me, PM me, or private message on Instagram at all. And if you do, I'm going to stop having you on the program. I mean, I understand you want to let me know about what you got going on. Email me what you got going on, and I'll promote it. But if you send don't. Is that clear? Yes. All right. Yeah. So anything you guys want to say before we crash into the wall? Sounds fun to DM you on it. No. Don't DM me on Instagram. I'm gonna delete my account if more people keep doing that. Just don't.
You know what? Hey, the next time someone DMs you on there and you have to go message them, respond with the shirt I sent you.
Yeah.
Oh, that shirt.
Now, the only thing I have to say is if you're in Dallas, please get your tickets to see Josh DeWay live at Dallas Comedy Club. And I will be performing as well. So tickets are $25.
And since Dallas is a open carry state, just bring your handguns. And here's what you do: if you see somebody in the club wearing a cowboy hat, just smack it off the head and say "fuck you, hick boy."
Yeah, Austin is the same way. Austin's even crazier because you'll see shirtless, crazy dudes, like crazy, and they got a gun, they got a pistol stuck in their belt. In their pants. You're just
You're not a cowboy. A hat does not make you a cowboy. Listen,
Oh,
I'm
man.
more of a cowboy. I'm from New York. I'm more of a cowboy than you. I actually worked a cattle ranch for 3.5 years.
Guys, I gotta head out of here.
Yeah, get out. All right, we're all getting out.
Yeah.
Have a good day. Get the hell out. Ron, you get the hell out too. Get the hell out of my show. All right, now it's just me getting the hell out of my show. Thanks for joining us. Rob White, Wednesday the 13th. Not this Wednesday. It was supposed to have a show this Wednesday at Sticks and Stones, which was the reason we were having him on today. But he'll be back there Wednesday the 14th. I'm sorry, it's the 14th of the Wednesday. Anyway, we have two comedians on tomorrow as well. It's a packed week, and I don't think we're going to have any no-shows this week. Am I jinxing myself on that? Possibly, but I think we're going to have a good week tomorrow. Marco Antoine, who's from El Paso, Texas, who would probably, but Marco's not like the typical Texas Yahoo white dude wearing a cowboy hat, so we're not going to have to smack a hat off his head and call him a hick boy. And Jamie Tucker will be on. Full week for you, and I don't think we're going to have any. I'm saying this in advance. I don't think we're going to have any no-shows this week. Anyway, that's the show for you today. Thanks for watching. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Tell your friends, come on back. Tell your family and your dog. All of that. Coffee with the Dog tomorrow. Bye for now.
listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me.